by 4 games over Texas with a record of 75-51, and they will face the Athletics batting order that looks like this. Former Angel Adam Kennedy to lead things off, then Davis, Suzuki, Cus Harrison, and Ryan Sweeney. He fell a double short of the cycle last night, and he's always played well against the Halos. Ellis Barton and Pennington will face Angels rookie right-hander Trevor Bell out of Toluca Lake. He's coming off a very poor start in Toronto, gave up 6 runs and only lasted an inning and 2/3.
That's right. But the rookie Bell, he's got everything to gain by this start and absolutely nothing to lose. So the kid, he's very tough. He's a competitor. He's young. And he's got good pitches. Now he's 93 miles an hour. He'll spot his fastball, 4-seamer on both sides of the plate. He'll try to. And he's got a little slider and a nice changeup. His changeup is going to be a very good pitch for him as he continues to evolve. But he wants to keep it down, and he's hoping that his offense will support him with some early runs, and he can get through the first inning is going to be a big key for Trevor Bell. Defending behind him, Torrey Hunter, Abreu, Rivera. We got the great middle infielders out there. It's not Asturis today at second base. It's Howie Kendrick, but Howie, he's been making a few highlight reels of his own. Figgy's been getting figgy with it. Mathis gets the call by Soch to catch Trevor Bell. And how about this play last night, folks? At Play for the Ages is Asturis to Ibar. Got him by his step. And Kurt Suzuki, he got robbed twice. Not only by Hunter at first in the very first inning, but now Asturis with the Houdini-like play. Really quick hands, soft, and a great awareness, sponsored by Jaguar.
Check out the new R Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer on JaguarUSA.com. Trevor Bell's first pitch to Adam Kennedy, strike 1. Kennedy last night to lead off the game hit a ground out to the second baseman, Meiser Asturis. Tonight it's Howie Kendrick in that spot. Kennedy went 2 for 5, and that was after going 4 for 22 against his old ball club. He still lives in Southern California. He hails from the Riverside area to J.W. North High School, and then became an All-American shortstop for Cal State Northridge.
First inning, he wants to get through it as smoothly as possible.
Well, Ibar should help him out, and does, recording the first out, because Bell faced 9 batters for Toronto in the first inning of that last start and gave up 3 runs, and then gave up 3 more in the second inning before he was pulled right after Randy Ruiz cleared the bases with a ringing double.
Trevor Bell knows that he's pitching for one of the best organizations in baseball and one of the best teams. So he's going to try to elevate his game, but he's really got to stay on the corners and down. He's in the middle, he's going to get hit hard.
When he made his major league debut, he became the 13th different starting pitcher and the 5th rookie to start for the Angels this year. Interestingly, Oakland started tonight. Brett Tomko was also the Athletics' 13th starter. There's a base hit up the middle by Rajay Davis, and this guy will be tough to hold down because he steals a lot of bases, 27 in a limited number of at-bats this year.
Yep, he's got skills. Plays a good center field as well. Trevor Bell's a good athlete. He has quick feet. Pretty good move to first base. Don't think he's going to worry too much about the runners, though. He just wants to get the ball home as quickly as possible and then turn it over to Jeff Mathis, who is the best catch and throw guy of the 2 Angel catchers. Even though they're roommates, they get along very well.
Here's a good clutch hitter in Kurt Suzuki. He's now batting 3rd. He's a very young player, and there you see Davis diving back into first base in a fine move by Trevor Bell. Athletics won last night 2-0, so the Angels just 1-3 on this homestand against Detroit and now Oakland. Texas is beginning a 3-game series in Minnesota, and the Rangers right now trail 3-1. That ball game's gone to the top of the 8th inning, so it's Matt Guerrier pitching for Minnesota as they try and the Twins move a little closer in that American League Central. They came in trailing the Detroit Tigers.
Bell's not going to let Rajay Davis mess with him.
Pitch out, throw by Mathis, and Davis is out.
Wow. Check the tag out by Ibar. You rarely see a reverse spin with the tag. You're expecting the ball to be out around the bag so you can just drop the tag on him. But this throw was on the left field side of second base, and Ibar caught it and spun clockwise to apply the tag. Pitch out, good call. The throw was off the mark. Watch these skills. Oh, see, that's a no-look tag is what they call that. Holds the ball up cleanly to let second base umpire Ted Barrett make the call.
Now a grounder to third. Figgins has it. His throw right on the money. A perfect inning for Trevor Bell when you consider no runs allowed and comparing it to that first inning in Toronto. Order. And here's tonight's AM/PM Angels batting order. Figgins, Abreu, Hunter, Guerrero, Rivera, Morales. 33 RBIs in his last 31 games, and he has the most since the All-Star break. Ibar, Kendrick, and Mathis to face the veteran Brett Tomko. 6'2" right-hander from Placentia, born in Cleveland but raised right here in Southern California. He said he went to a lot of Angel games growing up.
See, it's his third start, and he's a good one. Angels are facing a veteran with a good hard fastball. He'll get it up to 96. Another good pitch for him lately has been his cutter. He's cutting that fastball on both righties and lefties. That's late breaking action. He's got a curve, slider, and a changeup. And he said that he was a reliever for the Yankees, but he went from 0 innings pitched to 90 innings pitched in a 3.5-week span. So he's happy as can be to get on an Oakland A's team. They're not going anywhere, but he gets a chance to start. That's what he likes to do.
Signed with the A's, sent to AAA, and then was selected from Sacramento on August 17th. Pitched against the Yankees, pitched against the Tigers, and did well against both pretty tough offenses.
The Angels will have their hands full.
John Figgins, left center field. Davis says he has it, and he does, and that's 1 out to open the Angels half of the first.
Defending behind the veteran Brett Tomko. You see Davis in center. He's very, very fleet of foot. He can get to a lot of balls out there. All right, you got Ellis who's solid, but how about Adam Kennedy? He's been outstanding. Adam Kennedy, has only aired 3 times in 51 games at third base this year. Third base is a tough spot, not his natural position, but he's done one heck of a job. And he's definitely going to line himself up for a contract with somebody next year with his steady play and his bat.
And his versatility that you talked about.
He's going to be an excellent key. He's in his 10th year already, and he might play another 5 more years. Who knows? He can become a utility player, a veteran left-handed bat off the bench. I love Adam Kennedy.
Angel fans do, because he was part of that 2002 World Championship and an MVP in the ALCS when he had 3 home runs in the clinching game against the Minnesota Twins. Wow.
And he has every bit of the reason the Angels have a ring, because it's just beautiful to have seen his career evolve. Got him from the Cardinals. You know, the Angels did. heck, he's just been one heck of a teammate during his time for the world champion Angels.
Now the Angels trying to get back there. And they are a 4-game lead in the American League West over the Texas Rangers as Bobby Abreu flips it foul.
Hey, so those guys were stretching before the game, and I was showing those Oakland A's this ring. And I said, look, I didn't throw a ball, didn't hit one that year at all for the team. Just talked about it. That guy sitting right there is the reason I'm wearing it. Way to go, AK. Thanks a lot, man.
Bobby breaks his bat, sends a ground ball to first. Barton is there, covers the base, 2 outs.
Okay, the Angels are going to see a lot of fastballs. It's a good fastball hitting team. But that cutter that he just jammed Bobby Abreu with and broke his bat has been his big pitch. And he's not throwing a lot of his off-speed pitches for strikes. So the Angels, I'm sure, will spy that out. And they have a very good spy system throughout their batting order. They go back and talk to one another and share information that they saw from at-bat to at-bat.
Torrey Hunter got a bunt single in his final at-bat yesterday to extend his hit streak now to 13 consecutive games. Batting .400 since coming off the disabled list where he missed 32 games. In there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Our home plate umpire is Andy Fletcher. Greg Gibson at first base. Ted Barrett at second base. Tim McClellan is the crew chief at third. This is a terrific umpiring crew.
I tell you, Kurt Suzuki, he's happy as can be. He gets to catch a veteran. You know, Kurt is just in his second full season as a catcher in the big leagues for Oakland. He's a young player, but he has more service time than all the pitchers he's catching. So now he's got a guy that's got 10 years in. He's saying, all right, I'll let him pitch his game. I don't have to quarterback him and work with him and break him in. You know, Suzuki's one fine, talented player, that's for sure.
He was mentored by a good one in Jason Kendall, outstanding receiver for Pittsburgh, then Oakland, then Milwaukee. Foul off by Hunter, and the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Angels have their lineup back. Figgins, Abreu, speed at the top, then the power guys in Hunter, Vlad Guerrero, Juan Rivera, and Kendry Morales. And when you consider Morales hitting 6th, and he has the most home runs and most RBIs, that's a pretty special lineup. And Tomko gets one right down the middle at the knees against Torrey Hunter and strikes him out looking.
"21 years old and got a bright future, especially the way he showed it last night. Changeups, sliders, and sinking fastballs had the Angels swinging on top and hitting a lot of grounders last night. Fabulous outing, and he feels pretty good today, and he should, because he shut out one of the best offenses in the game. He should be digging himself if he hasn't already.
He is one of 4 rookies in the Athletics starting rotation. We'll see Mazzaro, 22 years old, go tomorrow, and Brett Anderson, 21, go on Sunday. And then the other, of course, is Gio Gonzalez, who's 23. Bell threw just 9 pitches in the first inning. They've got the shift on for Jack Cust, who's been on a tear. Although the Angels held him down last night, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He did work a walk. That gives him 75 this year. He has a big swing, slight uppercut, all or nothing. And he is jacked 20 out of the yard, but he's also struck out 142 times at the knees. And right now, at least seems like Andy Fletcher's calling the low strike. We saw that against Tomko, and now with Bell.
It's good. More strikes they call, the quicker the game moves along. Hitters know they got to swing the bat.
Stays down there and fouled off of Jeff Mathis. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes with Cust, Hairston, and Sweeney coming up here in the top of the second inning. Angels lost to Cahill last night despite a quality start by Urban Santana. Looked pretty good. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings, but did throw a lot of pitches.
Like the way Bell's getting the ball and throwing strikes, though. Had to be careful with anything middle in with Cust. Although Cust has good opposite field power, he usually takes the breaking balls to the opposite field. He likes to turn on the heaters.
2-2 is way inside, and you just wonder sometimes when a guy calls timeout not once but twice in an at bat, pitcher gets a little steamed, like, I know you're trying to wreck with my rhythm. A swing and a miss on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Good pitch by Trevor, and that's his first strikeout of the ball game. Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome, and our thoughts and prayers are with our servicemen and women at this particular time.
And their families, and we particularly love those from Camp Pendleton. Ladies and gentlemen that serve, thank you very much. You're thought of every day.
Fastball misses down. Well, we understand that the deal is official. The Angels just got Scott Kazmir, the Tampa Bay Rays starting pitcher who won 8 games this year, is coming to the Halos. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. We understood that St. Petersburg Times was saying that they would wait until after the Rays game tonight with the Detroit Tigers. And there's Artie Moreno. And he is the Angels owner, talking about what's taking place, and the Angels 4-man rotation just got a little stronger. Tampa Bay's game is a final. Detroit did beat Tampa Bay, and they said they would have news as soon as their game was complete. Well, Detroit beat the Rays 6-2, and apparently they made it official. Kazmir is an Angel.
All right. Happy to hear that. When I caught news of that a little bit earlier today, my first thought was, good. What a find. Man, that kid, he's young. He was a top Mets prospect many years ago, but he's only 25. He's got a lot left in his tank.
Hairston pops it up. Hunter calls off Ibar, makes the catch. 2 outs here in the second inning, but the big news of the day is Scott Kazmir will be wearing Angel red. 8.75, 9.2 ERA. You may say, hey, that's not very good, but what he has averaged his last 4 seasons is impressive, including 2 years ago when he struck out 239 batters. And he did miss a month of the season prior to that month when he had a bad quad. That was his worst month when he had an ERA over 10. But he does have an explosive fastball. The Angels trading a left-handed pitcher, Alex Torres, in Double-A, a Single-A first baseman, Matt Sweeney, and a player to be named later to the Rays.
Well, when Mike Butcher was the pitching coach for Joe Madden in 06, he got to know that organization pretty well, and he saw Kazmir. And I'm sure that they go right to Butchie whenever they're going to acquire a pitcher and ask him about him. He says, hey, look, we'll take him. I like his mechanics. I like the way he works. He's a tough kid, but he's got good stuff, got a good, lively fastball. And if he's been having any trouble, we'll fix him and straighten him out over here. That ensures they got a really good lefty for the next couple seasons.
That ball is roped back up the middle by Ryan Sweeney, who stays hot. That's his 4th hit of this series.
And a hot hitter, the ball looks really big. It looks like a softball. And so anything up and out over the plate, a hot hitter is going to make good solid contact. You can't always guarantee where it's going to go, but you want to be aware of the hot guys.
The Angels also taking Kazmir for the future, because this was the first of a 3-year deal. So they have 2 more years with Scott Kazmir, and he obviously will be part of a 2-headed lefty part of the rotation with Joe Saunders.
Yeah,
and just 25 years old from Houston, Texas.
Just gives Mike Scioscia another option and a little bit more confidence in the staff. And when you make a good trade like that, it lifts everybody's spirits, especially in that clubhouse where it really means the most. Fans are going to love it too. They'll get to know him.
Mark Ellis pops it up left side. Will there be enough room for Sean Figgins near the Angels dugout? Yes, there's room, and Figgy makes the catch. Ellis is the final out. We'll talk more. Scott Kazmir will likely replace that man in the rotation. But the Angels just got themselves a starting pitcher. You've just joined us. The Angels acquired left-handed pitcher Scott Kazmir from Tampa Bay. And the Rays will receive minor leaguers Alex Torres and Matt Sweeney, and a player to be named later.
Okay, now that's going to help on the pitching side. Offense lately has been a different story. Now the Angels have gone 14 straight innings without scoring a run.
Vlad Guerrero pops it up shallow center field. And finally covering the play is Cliff Pennington, the athletic shortstop, and Vladimir Guerrero is the first man out.
So for this team, as good as it has been, has run into a little bit of a bump in the road, is what Mike Scioscia likes to say. It's not been a very good run for them lately. They've been seeing some good pitching, but it's okay. No time to panic, folks. That anybody in that lineup can ignite at any time. But you see what they've been doing. The runs are down. Team average is down. Team ERA is higher, which is not good.
Well, you know, you and I were talking for a 2-month stretch. We don't think we saw the Angels offensively that consistent at any stretch in our tenure, in our 11 years working together, where this team was putting together, they were averaging 7 runs per game since June 12th through August 12th. Yeah, you're going to hit a run.
Oh, there's no question. And we knew it was going to come. But in the meantime, you heard us gushing about the offense and the way they play is because they were winning. And when they don't win, we have to share with you why they're not winning and show you some numbers to kind of, just let you know the state of the Angels. And Mike Scioscia has no panic in his blood at all. Mickey Hatcher's been doing a fantastic job. He's been with Mike all 10 years of his managerial reign. Butchie has been a very good addition as a pitching coach. And so, when you're solid from the top, that really works its way on down to the clubhouse and the players. Let's not forget Ron Renicky. Could be a next major league manager in somebody's team because he knows how to win.
Right now, Brett Tomko with a lot of life keeping that ball down. The count is 3-2. A beautiful sunset here at the Big A. Angels trying for their first win of this series after Oakland bit them last night and shut them out 2-0. Trevor Cahill in the bullpen of Michael Wirtz and Bailey. That ball is skied foul.
Okay, while we're giving love to those who deserve it, might as well give some to Dino Ebel. Been doing a fantastic job in his third year as an Angel. Third base coach Alfredo Griffin, one of the best infield instructors in baseball, no question. He was a great player in his day, but he's smart and knows the game of baseball and does a great job at first base. But the Angels are facing Brett Tomko, who's a confident veteran pitcher. It's going to be very tough for them, but they've got to be able to lift one out of the yard. They've got to get a little bit of runs on the board and get some confidence back, even though the Angels have been so good. They haven't scored in 14 straight innings, and so their confidence might be down a little bit. And Tomko's, he's feeding off of that because he's coming off of a couple nice starts.
And then he blows a fastball right by Juan Rivera, who doesn't strike out very much. That's 2 strikeouts for Tomko early in this game. And kids looking for a unique back-to-school accessory can come out to the Big A tomorrow night. All kids ages 2 through 18 in attendance will receive a free one-of-a-kind Angels camouflage backpack courtesy of Healthy for Life. Tickets for this game can be purchased at angelsbaseball.com.
Great item. We've been seeing that for a while. When's that date coming up, Fizz?
That is tomorrow.
Oh, sweet. Just in time.
Kendry Morales taking a moving fastball that enters the zone. Strike one.
School starts next week for a lot of Southern California schools, and they'll have a nice Angel backpack to show to their buddies.
Morales, the leader in home runs and RBIs for the Halos, and he is hitting 6th. Talented switch hitter out of Cuba. Came in at 299. He slipped under that 300 mark as the Angels only picked up 2 hits all last night.
Okay, Tomko, he's looking to establish the fastball early in the game to both lefties and righties. In the inner half of the plate, he's not afraid to pitch inside. He'll use that slider to righties and his curveball to lefties as out pitches.
Morales to center field and deep. Davis off to the races. He will not reach this one. That's a goner for the Angels. Kendry Morales.
Make it 28 for Camo. Dead center field. There's the fastball out of the middle that the Angels are going to be looking for because that's really the bread and butter of Tomko. Nice shot.
And that ties him with Chili Davis for the most home runs in Angels history for a switch hitter. That's 28 home runs for Kendry Morales, tying Chili Davis's mark he set in 1996.
Way to go, dog. Chili, you held it for a long time. Way to go. But now you've got to step aside for the young Cuban who's making a huge mark and a statement in his first year playing every day at first base here. If Chili was here, he would say, Hud, this kid has got some kind of pop. Okay, now he's got power to all fields and he's a very confident hitter. And when you're that strong and you have a good level swing, you're going to catch the back underside of a lot of balls.
2-out home run by Morales gives the Angels a 1-0 lead. Tomko comes back inside to Eric Ibar. So number 28 and 86 RBIs, 14 shy of 100. The Angels have 2 guys who likely will pass that mark in Bobby Abreu and Kendry. Not far behind is Torrey Hunter with his 70 and Juan Rivera with 72. And had Hunter not missed his 32 games, he might be at the 90-95 mark by now. There is Hunter. Good to see the big guy back. Missed 32 games because of a right adductor strain. that he had suffered even before he was placed in the DL, slamming into the outfield wall at Dodger Stadium, making a tremendous catch of a Matt Kemp drive. Line drive, base hit left field for Ibar. So 2 hits with 2 out. One by Morales that left the yard, and now a single by Erick Aybar.
Okay, Morales, he's one of the younger Angels, but he's led by some really good veterans. Vladdy's been a leader here for the last 5 years. Torii Hunter has emerged as a real good vocal leader, and that's important to have. You got to have guys who have been there before you and done it, and they help each other by keeping their focus and keeping their work habits sharp, because if you don't work during a baseball season, you're going to lose it. No one just pushes a button. Nobody. It takes work to play here and stay here.
Howie Kendrick trying to do that right now with 2 out. A run home. Kendrick back in the lineup, and a rare start against a right-handed pitcher in Brett Tomko.
Morales, good inside out, or excuse me, Kendrick, good inside out hitter. Angels seem to have a knack to score a lot of runs with 2 outs. And Tomko going to take a little walk around the mound here as he's saying, okay, we're not even first time through the order and they've already touched me. I got to be a little bit careful here, falling behind 2-0. We've seen Howie's power come on this year. He's got 8 home runs. We've seen him pull them. We've seen him shoot them the opposite way.
Now that ball into the glove of the catcher Kurt Suzuki, so the count moves to 2-1.
But when you have a focus as a hitter up the middle and to the right side, it keeps you on the ball longer. And then if there is a pitch inside and they've been pounding him in there once in a while, then he'll go ahead and turn on one and pull one down the line for a double or hit a homer. Then it makes the pitcher really start to think. But good approach by Howie.
3-1 as Tomko thinking a little too much about the guy at first base, Erick Aybar, who does have 13 steals this year, and he has quickened his pace from the stretch and fallen behind 3-1. And his next pitch will be his 24th in this second inning. Aybar does not go. The pitch is a check swing in there, and it's 3-2. Tomko not giving Howie too many fastballs in this at bat. Martin now plays behind Aybar at first base. Eric goes. The pitch is taken for ball 4. Rex, I've got to ask you, there has to be a buzz in that dugout. The Angels fans, just like the Angels players, just found out the Halos acquired Scott Kazmir from the Tampa Bay Rays, helping their rotation. What's the feeling like in the dugout?
Oh, you know what? They're containing themselves right now. But I guarantee you, before the game started, they were all talking about that. Okay, but now that they're playing the game, it doesn't do them any good to think about that. But they are all geeked. I don't even know if they've even heard yet. Angels are focused on this game. They may not even have heard the news, and they don't really care. They're just worried about what they're doing in house. Yeah, but when the game's over, they'll be swarming, they'll be talking in there, media will be in there, and they're a better team. Especially when you land a good young left-handed arm like that, and then they know that that's been a need for them. But right now, they just want to beat Oakland.
Here is Jeff Mathis. He swings at the first pitch slider, strike 1. Mathis 1 for 3 with a double that split the gaps last night. He had a hit. Torii Hunter had a bunt single, and Vlad Guerrero had a single to left field. 3 hits in the ball game last night. I think I said 2 earlier. I beg your pardon. And another fastball that rode inside. So Jeff down 0-2.
The changeup is a pitch for Tomko right now has not been consistent with. Okay, he pushes up a little bit with it, and it leaves it up in the zone some, and it gets hit. So he doesn't use it. He might throw it once in a while to a left-handed batter just to mess up their timing, but that's an important pitch for timing and throwing the hitter off balance.
Mathis strikes out on 3 pitches, but the Angels gain the lead on Kendry Morales' 28th home run of the year. A shot to left center, over 400 feet.
Oh, man, they scored a run. First time in 14 innings. Congratulations, Halo. Hope you get many more tonight.
retired the Athletics in the first 2 innings and given up just a pair of hits, singles to Rajai Davis and Ryan Sweeney. Now in inning number 3, Derek Barton to lead things off, and Barton had a couple of hits yesterday in their 2-0 win. Drove in the second run when Sweeney tripled and was at third with 1 out.
Okay, there's your run, Trevor. Go ahead and hold it. That's his challenge.
Ground ball, second base. Kendrick has it and throws on to Morales for the first out of the 3rd inning. Fans join the Angels in the Baseball Tomorrow Fund for their 4th annual equipment drive. Tomorrow night, bring any new or used gloves, bats, or balls to the bins located at gates 1, 4, and the home plate gate. The first 1,000 fans who donate equipment or make a $10 donation will receive a Bobby Abreu 2000 Hits commemorative pin. All proceeds benefit the Northeast Garden Grove and Rosita Little Leagues. For more information, visit angelsbaseball.com. A lefty, Cliff Pennington, now the batter. Pennington, the A's first-round pick in 2005 out of Texas A&M.
On my honeydew list at home, my wife has HUD clean out the closet cupboards and get all those shoes and all that stuff. Ooh, we laced it.
Down the right field line. We'll get to your closet right as soon as we see Pennington reach second base with a double.
So I'll get up tomorrow morning and I'll go out there and get all the used equipment the kids have had over the years. It's still good because, you know, they grow so fast that the cleats are still usable. So I'm going to bag them up, come and drop them off, and make her happy and hopefully some kids happy.
I'm glad you reminded me. I must do the same thing.
All right. And if fans think about others, look at the shoes, that any used equipments that you have, extra helmets, extra bats, aluminum bats that are not used anymore. Bring them, folks. Let's help out the Little League area here. And there's a lot of folks that aren't financially doing so well. So, man, they would love that.
Tomorrow is also the blood drive that the Angels are having here at the stadium from 8 o'clock in the morning until 2 in the afternoon.
While we're on this subject, Fizz, can I go ahead and compliment Mike Scioscia and his Angel players for being so cordial to pregame guests that are out there for batting practice? Whether they're there because of a fundraiser or maybe they're down on their luck a little bit health-wise, the Angel players are unbelievable. They come over on the way back to the dugout and they stop, they talk. Sean Figgins yesterday made a little boy's life as he went in and got him a bat and gave the kid a bat. Kid's been a little bit down on his luck, but that kid smiled and it made him feel so good, Fizz. I had to compliment all of those players in the clubhouse today and Mike Scioscia about his team, how great they are to give back while they can right here at the ballpark when people come to see them.
We see that every single day, and you also had a Torrey Hunter story when you went into the Angels clubhouse because one of the lads was just disappointed that he didn't have a chance to meet Torrey after Torrey finished batting practice, and Hunter just didn't see him at that particular time when he was taking his bats back.
You know, the guest didn't get there early, but I asked the young kid, Dylan, he said, who's your favorite player? He goes, Torrey Hunter. I go, okay, there he is out there. I'll keep an eye on him. But, you know, next thing you know, he snuck off and he's gone. So I went down to the clubhouse. It's a no-no for me. Okay, and I played once I know. Once your BP's over, you go in, change your wet clothes, and and I said, Torrey, man, I don't want to bother you, but, man, this one kid really needs you. He needs you for his life to make him feel good. And Torrey says, wait on, HUD, just wait a second, I'll be right there. I went and got him. Torrey came up to the steps of the dugout. They had a little picture made. Torrey's so very analytical, very happy. You know, he's fun. He's got a great personality. And that kid smiled, and his smile just permeated the whole dugout. Little things these guys do don't get noticed, but need to be talked about.
Bell falling behind Adam Kennedy walks him on a 3-1 count. First walk of the game. He has not had a clean inning yet, so Mike Butcher will go out and visit with the rookie Bell. He seems to be laboring a bit here in the 3rd inning. He has shown a good sinking fastball in the first 3 innings, and he'd love to get that with Davis, who can really fly, coming up now.
Well, he doesn't want to do it after his team just got him a run, but, you know, this is what happens, and it's not an easy game. It's not easy to get through hitters, especially when you're young. He's never faced these guys before, so he's learning on the job. He's got 1 out. He's got an opportunity here to roll 2, but he probably won't with Davis's speed. But keep her down.
Meantime, the Angels know they have a chance to gain a full game on the Texas Rangers because Minnesota just knocked off the Rangers 3-2. Brian Dunston got the win for the Twins, and Tommy Hunter took the loss. Joe Nathan with his 33rd save. Backup slider is barely missing. Let's check the buy.com American League West standings. The Angels right now 4.5 up on Texas. But the Angels, as you know, they've lost 6 of their last 8. They lead tonight 1-0. Bell brings it, and there's a swing and a line drive to left field, a base hit. Pennington has good speed. Rivera with a good arm. The throw is cut off by Sean Figgins. So Athletics have the bases loaded with just 1 out in the 3rd inning.
Ball elevated, and when you're not overpowering, it's going to get hit. He might have changed speeds on that one, but it was up in the zone. He wants to try to just keep her down, and Curt Clutch is coming up. Not necessarily a good thing either. This guy can put the bat on the ball with authority.
You see his numbers this year just in his 2nd full season, and he is already hitting 3rd. Batting .275. Normally you'd see him down in the order, but this has not been a great hitting Athletic team. Rex did mention the name Curt Clutch. He got that moniker at Cal State Fullerton by coming up with so many big hits for the Titans when they won the College World Series.
Pretty impressive for what he did in his collegiate career, but he just had his 6th career game-ending hit last Saturday, so he's doing it here. Six career game-ending hits. Oh.
And it goes off the edge of Ibar's glove. It looked like it might be a double play. Instead, the Athletics take the lead on the base hit by Suzuki.
Oh, you know what? It just took a little funny hop on Ibar, but that's a routine double play for him. I'll be shocked if they score that a hit, because I was excited. That's exactly what Trevor Bell wanted, but every once in a while it's going to happen.
They gave him a hit.
Well, watching Ibar play, that's routine for him. Okay, now it took some funny hops, and go ahead and give Bell and charge Bell with a few earnies. But if you ask Eric, he'll tell you after the game that he should have made it.
And that would have been a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play, and the Angels would have been in that dugout leading 1-0. Instead, the A's now lead it 2-1. And here's the lefty, Jack Cust. This is a tough at bat, as hot as he has been. Strike one with the hook. This guy has tremendous power from line to line. We have seen him hit long home runs to left center field in Oakland. Angels already have Darren Oliver warming. Remember, the Angels just got their 5-starter in a trade about an hour ago from Tampa Bay, and Cust with a moon shot to right field, but it stays up for Bobby Abreu, who makes the catch. And tagging at 3rd is Davis. He's coming home, and he scores quite easily to make it a 3-1 game.
Scioscia is going to have a short leash on Bell. I guarantee you, if he gives up another run in this inning, they'll probably take him out of the game. Butch has already made one visit, but he's not going to try to let this game get out of control as he's missing. And Cust just missed a homer there on an elevated pitch, so that's why he's got him going early. And Scioscia, before he comes to the park, in his mind, he already is formulating, if something happens to Bell early, what's he going to do? Who's he going to bring in? Who's available? Who's pitched last? Who's tired? Who's not? He formulates that before he even gets to the yard.
Scott Hairston to center field and deep, and look out, that one is way gone. And Bell, well, Oakland's ringing his bell right now in the 3rd inning. They have scored 5 runs off Trevor, and this game getting out of hand quickly.
Yep, and that's it for Bell. Didn't last long. Angels' first run they scored in 14 innings in the last half of the inning, and got the first out on Derek Barton. Then a base hit, walk, base hit, sac fly, and a ding dong.
And it easily could have been 1-0 Angels. Angels hitting right now. If Ibar is able to make that play, and the smash by Kurt Suzuki that clipped off the glove of Eric when he was setting up for a 6-4-3 double play. It was ruled a base hit and 2 RBIs for Suzuki. Ryan Sweeney, who singled his first time up, now at the plate.
Okay, with 2 outs, Mike's going to let him try to finish the inning. Nobody on base. And even a soft hitting team like the A's with the numbers doesn't pertain night to night. They're all big league hitters and they can hit. Some teams hit better than others, but if you're out over the middle at this level, they'll let you know.
Well, Bell, prior to this season, had never played higher than Class A, and then he gives up a home run to a major leaguer, Scott Hairston.
And he's strong.
He leaned on that one.
Yeah. Whenever you see Torrey Hunter slow down after his first 2 steps, he knows it's gone.
Ryan Sweeney with a base hit to left field. So the 8th man gets a hit, and here comes Mike Scioscia. He has seen enough, and this likely will be the final start for Trevor Bell as an Angel in 2009. Scott Kazmir was acquired from Tampa Bay tonight, and he will be the Angels' new 5-man. We'll see Darren Oliver try and keep the club in the ball game when we come back.
You see Scioscia, he clapped his hands twice, looked the kid in the eye. That's a positive response after just getting lit.
Came in with a 1-0 lead, but our Jack in the Box outside the box is about Ryan Sweeney.
Oh man, you know, when he sees an Angel uniform, he likes attacking it. He did last night. Came 1 hit short of the cycle. He was all over the ball. Good inside out swing there, and he hits his double. Actually, that was his triple. Outside the box, and he hit one outside of the park. Kid Ryan Sweeney, young, got all tightened up, got him a nice tight haircut. Pretty good average here at the Big A.
A 38-year-old lefty, Darren Oliver, heads to the hill, and his numbers, he has the lowest ERA of the Angels bullpen, 2.80, 4-0 mark. Angels hope to give him a 5-0 mark with a come from behind victory tonight. And Darren's pitch is a fastball hitting the outside corner. Texas did lose at Minnesota tonight 3-2, so the Angels can't lose any ground, but they need to start playing better baseball, and that means with starting pitching. The Angels have only 11 quality starts since the All-Star break. A great backhand stop by Sean Figgins and a throw to get Mark Ellis at first base.
That's
the damage has been done. 5-run score for Oakland.
I don't want to help him out.
Are hoping for as the Angels trail 5-1. They led 1-0 going to the third, but then Oakland sent 9 men to the plate and scored 5 runs, knocking Trevor Bell out of the game. So here is Sean Figgins to face Red Tomko.
Certainly a veteran like Tomko knows how to hold the lead. He's going to go right after him and get ahead, pound the strike zone, put the pressure on the offense to come back and get him. There's a curveball. Haven't seen that one yet. They'll start mixing that in a little bit now. Second time through the order for the Halos. Touched him once. Morales hit his 28th home run, a solo shot in the second. And they're going to need a bunch more. Try to get in here. This is something that Socia and the Angels offense did pretty well during the last hot streak. And whenever they got down, it was no big deal. But lately, they've been having a hard time coming back, continuing the starting pitching to stress the offense a little bit now. Pressuring them to score runs and come back.
Tomko really worked a good, lively fastball earlier. And right now he's going away from it against Sean Figgins. Figgins trying to start the rally here in the bottom half of the third inning. Ball 3. So after being 0-2, now he is full with Sean Figgins. And Figgins, one of the top walk artists in the American League. He's been on base more than any other player in the American League, 229 times. Foul. He leads all leadoff guys in on-base percentage at .401.
Well, the Angels, they're not ready to start watching the scoreboard yet, and they probably won't for several weeks. But at least Minnesota knocked off the Rangers 3-2.
And did you see what Minnesota did today? They acquired John Roush from the Diamondbacks for a player to be named later. Roush was the setup man for the Diamondbacks. Texas also waived Jason Jennings to clear room for power arm Pedro Strop. He's now with the ball club. And that ball struck to center field. And backing up is Rajai Davis. Reaches up, pulls down the long fly ball off the bat of Sean Figgins for out number 1.
Okay, Figgy got some good wood on it, but straightaway center field is not his home run out. And he pulls that, he might have got one, but he struck the ball well, had a good AB, and expended a few pitches from Tomko. That's the positive from that at bat. Quality AB.
Now Bobby Abreu, who grounded out to first base his first time up. Abreu just 2 for 17 on this homestand. They've all gone quiet a little bit, although Hunter and Figgins had terrific series against the Detroit Tigers, each with 7 hits. Angels just were able to scrap out 1 victory against Detroit, 4-2 in that finale on Wednesday afternoon. Angels, seems like for a month and a half, have been searching for starting pitching, and they acquired one today. Scott Kazmir from Tampa Bay for minor league pitcher Alex Torres, infielder Matt Sweeney, and a player to be named later. Tony Reagans, the Angels general manager, said, "We are excited to have a pitcher of Scott's caliber. He has excelled at the major league level since he came into the league, and we love his competitiveness. This move also provides us with some depth in our rotation." Yes, it does, particularly if the 5 stay healthy. Saunders is back and healthy. He pitched well the other day. Santana has had 4 straight quality starts. Abreu center field. Davis measures it near the track. Out number 2. Well, Tony, he has had his ear plastered to a phone, it seems like 24/7.
Yeah, every day. See, that's his job. I love the quotes we had from Mike Socia in the open of our show. How we talked about, you know what, we talk about other GMs to other GMs all the time about different players, and if we told everybody about that and all the players we've been talking about, we'd be here for 3 hours. That's his job. That's what he does. And they're the ones that, when they want a consummated deal, they do it, and they don't let anybody else know about it because it's no one else's business. It's their ball club. But he's still looking.
And there might be some fans who say, why are we getting a guy who has a 5.92 ERA? But this is a game of what have you done for us lately? What you have to know is the history of Scott Kazmir this season. He did have a terrible month of May, ERA over 10, but he was pitching with pain. and then they put him on the DL finally with a right quad injury. When he came back, he pitched better in July and even better in August. There's a smash to third. Kennedy has it. Hunter is out. So are the Angels. To the fourth we go. Oakland has a 5-1 lead on the Angels. For home runs by a switch hitter with 28, who holds the records for righties and lefties. We'll give you the answer later in the ball game. There's Brian Downing. He could have held the mark by a right-hander. He had a lot of home runs. He wound up with 275 in his marvelous career. And he was honored last night. Brian Downing, along with Chuck Finley, on the Angels Hall of Fame, welcoming celebration last night.
Yeah, you know, it was very refreshing to hear him. You know, he was a man of very few words, but he was relaxed to be able to share a little bit from his heart. Very good. Both guys, Finn and Downing, had great acceptance speeches and were rewarded with a beautiful ring, an MVP ring. Excuse me, a Hall of Fame ring. That's what they called it.
It was a beautiful honor that came from the Moreno and Angel family. Eric Barton, the batter. The count 1-2. Also like to thank Artie for approving of the deal that brings Scott Kazmir to the Angels. We were talking about his recent success, and Kazmir lately, last 3 starts have all been quality. He's allowed 7 runs in 20 innings and 21 strikeouts, and he's coming off a 10 strikeout game in just 6 innings against the Blue Jays. Grounder foul.
Well, you know, the economics of the game had a lot to do with the deal. Okay, Tampa Bay owed Kazmir $28 million, and they had some young pitching prospects, and they said, you know what, if we can find somebody to take that load off, it might help our ownership a little bit. Or, you know, they're a small market there in Tampa. St. Pete, they're in St. Petersburg actually, but they're the Tampa Rays, and the Angels, they're ready to pick him up because Artie Moreno has shown the willingness to not only invest on the field but also in the community, and that's what you want in an owner.
And Kazmir had proved himself the last couple of years to get that kind of contract. Angels will pick up the rest of this season and then the next 2 years, but he was 13-9 with 239 strikeouts 2 years ago in 2007. Won 12 games in an injury-plagued time last year, but helped his team to the World Series.
Okay, but in the meantime, Darren Oliver's job is just to go ahead and hold him. Hold him right there. Eat up a few innings. All he can go, he might go 30 pitches. But if he does, that means that he won't be available tomorrow. He's 38 years old.
A gapper to left center field, and on the 9th pitch, Derek Barton comes up with a blasting double. Man, this is a Oakland team that came in cold, and they are hitting the Angels quite well in this Last 2 innings. Let's check our United States Marines leaders of the game. Angels and A's have dominated the American League West. AL West titles in the last 7 years. The Angels have 4. The Athletics have 3. The A's in 2002, 2003, and 2006. And the Angels in 04, 05, and 07, 08. And even though the Angels in 02 went in as the wild card with 99 wins that year, they had a great season. They were just a few games back of the Athletics. A bunt try for a sacrifice by Pennington, and he bunts it foul, strike 1.
Yep, Oakland's, they've been in postseason, but they've had a tough time getting out of the first round like the Angels have. So it's not easy.
The Athletics critics say it's because of the money ball. The fact that they have a high on-base percentage, don't run as much. Well, this year they're running and running a lot. They've got 97 stolen bases, and they're doing the little things like bunting. Pennington calls time as Oliver was looking in, trying to get the correct pitch and location that he wanted from Jeff Mathis.
In postseason, good pitching outdoes good hitting most of the time. And so if you don't have any pop and you're relying on guys to get on base and your home run's going to slump, you're in trouble. Can't win. It's partly the problem the Angels have had. Now that wild pitch by Ollie moves Barton over to third base with no outs, and they're threatening to score another run here.
Oliver tried to keep it up and in. Right now the Angels just not executing. Bell could not get out of the 3rd inning. Oliver took over, threw 1 pitch to get Ellis out, but now Barton has doubled and gone to second base, to third base on a pass ball. They're calling it a pass ball by Jeff Mathis. We come back inside on Pennington, who's swinging away now, and the count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, Ollie has 2 different breaks to his curveball. That last pitch was a tight slider like, and then he'll take a little bit off of another one. It's more a big curveball break, and then his fastball at 90, maybe 89, sometimes 91. He spots it very well, and he's pitching good this year.
Pennington rips it down the left field line into the corner. It goes, but foul. So just a long strike, a 2-2 count. Oliver gets a new baseball and rubs it up. Darren really pitching well for the Angels recently.
24 of his last 28 outings are scoreless. Reliable reliever.
And he's thinking about coming back next year. 38-year-old lefty has had a terrific season for the Angels, and a breaking ball swung on and missed by Pennington. Big strikeout for Oliver here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, see, Pennington wants to pick up the ribby. Oliver says, I'm going to tease you a little bit. Good breaking ball. And there's depth to that one. That was more of his curve. Took a little bit off. It had a little bit deeper break. But Oliver, he's going to be a free agent, and as good as he is, and he lives in Texas, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rangers pursue him.
That's hit past Morales into right field. A base hit to score. Barton from third base, and Oakland goes up 6-1 on the Angels. An RBI single by the former Angel Adam Kennedy. A 5-run third and 1 so far in the 4th.
Okay, so Ollie doesn't get scored off of very often. When we showed him on camera, like right there, he's the same. He didn't show any expression, no mental letdown, no body language that looks like he's defeated. He's a veteran and a polished veteran who knows his craft, and he knows that if he shows emotion, he's going to feed that to the Oakland A's hitters. They're going to have more confidence.
Athletics scoring at will against the Angels right now, and this is a team that came in dead last in batting and 12th in runs scored. But they have clubbed the Angels for 9 hits and 6 runs already, and just starting the 4th inning. Rajay Davis is 2 for 2. Chops that one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Davis was with San Francisco before last season and had a miserable start for the Giants. They just released him, and Oakland very quickly picked him up, and he spent the rest of the year with the Athletics and had a good season. Even better with the A's this year. They've almost been forced to become a different team, Rex, because of the speed guys. I mean, Kennedy can run the bases well. Davis can run. Hairston, Sweeney, Ellis, Pennington.
Well, they're starting to emulate the Angels and how successful their speed game's been. And they're not the only team that's doing that. A lot of other teams are trying to find that same kind of combination of speed and power, but you know, it starts at the draft. It starts also with the manager, like Mike Scioscia, has a lot of control over his minor league system. Now, I don't know the Oakland A's and Bob Guerin situation as much as I do Scioscia's. However, I know Scioscia has all of his players in the minors playing his brand of ball.
A chopper up the middle. Kendrick catches the baseball, and on the exchange from glove to hand, he cannot make the play to first base to get Davis, but he does get the lead man at second, Adam Kennedy.
That's really all that matters. Just get the out. Not guaranteed to double up Davis, who runs really well. Howie knew he had to be quick. Sometimes in that transfer from glove to hand, that happens.
So the fourth will continue as Kennedy came through with the RBI single to make it a 6-1 ball game. And now a right-handed batter, Kurt Suzuki, who drove in 2 runs. It could have been much closer as Suzuki lashed the ball with runners on, bases loaded, but it was at Eric Aybar, who tried to backhand the baseball. It was so well struck that it looked like it was going to be a routine 6-4-3 double play. Instead, a bad hop clipped off the glove, ruled a single, 2 RBIs, and the inning continued.
Well, watching Aybar play shortstop this season, he has shown a lot of people that he's really a Gold Glove caliber player. So when a ball hit like that right to his backhand, you would assume that he would make the play, but it doesn't always happen when it's hit so hard. But Eric has raised the level of his play to Gold Glove status. He's made a few errors lately, just recently, but been very consistent. And Ed Munson, the official scorer here, decided the ball was hit too hard and gave him a hit. Figge and Aybar on the left side of the infield have been nails.
Fouled off by Kurt Suzuki.
Kurt Clutch. You know, he's an Angel type player. If Mike Scioscia wasn't so deep in his catching, I'm sure that Scioscia would try to find a way to get him. But they've got a lot of good looking young catchers in the Angels organization. But Suzuki, I'm sure, would jump at an opportunity, just like Kazmir. Kazmir, they probably told him after the game, and he controlled his emotions in front of his team probably, but said, hey guys, thanks, see you later. But man, he called his wife and says, we're going west, honey. We're going to go play for the Angels. Players get excited. This is a great organization to play for. 40,000 a night. Are you kidding?
Runner goes. Pitch swung on, fouled off the right side. And it'll stay 0-2 with Suzuki with Davis at first base.
So we left Toronto not long ago. Kevin Millar. You know, he's kind of a role player. He's got some pop off the bench. He's getting a little bit up in his age. He looked at me and he goes, Hunt, man, is there any way you think Soch needs a right-handed hitter off the bench? I said, I don't know, man. You'll have to ask him. He goes, no, I'm not going to ask him, but man, that'd be great. I'd love to come there. But you know, the Angels don't really need any pinch hitters off the bench, because who are you going to pinch hit for outside of Jeff Mathis? Nobody. They're all very productive.
And if you caught our pregame show, you know that Mike Scioscia says that catching, the Angels have tremendous catching depth in the organization. They did an interview, Jose Mota did, with Hank Conger, young catcher at AA Arkansas, who's having a fine year, hitting near 300. Getting better at his defensive responsibilities that man demands. We're in the top of the fourth inning, a 6-1 Oakland lead over the Angels. And they've got Davis picked off, and Morales drops the baseball. So 2 mistakes in this inning have allowed the inning to continue. Davis will steal second.
Morales has been really good on that play all year, and especially the comebackers on to start double plays. Okay, this is the first year he's been over there every day at first base, and that's the first miss that we've seen all year on a throw like that. On a play like this here, ball just didn't really get a grip on it. And when you squeeze down on that ball, sometimes it just pops out of there. But Morales says, okay, so far so good, it hadn't hurt.
Now the ball gets away from Jeff Mathis. So in the inning, we've had a wild pitch, a passed ball, and 2 mistakes by infielders when they made the exchange from glove to hand and were not able to make the throw, or the inning would have been over. So Mike looks a little steamed. It almost seems like there's a little lack of focus, Rex, with the Angels down by 5.
Well, you know, the field skipper will not like that, and he'll probably say after the game, he won't mention anybody's name. He says, you know, we'll just have to clean it up a little bit. But he's having a hard time cleaning up in his own division. 5 games under 500 they are against teams from the West.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Oliver's already thrown 28 pitches. The Angels have really used their bullpen a lot lately, and they're asking for a lot from the pen. The bullpen has thrown 55 innings the last 14 games, and Bell didn't even give him 3 tonight. So they'll tax the pen again, and they'll wait until the rosters expand on September 1st and hope for some
reinforcements.
You got that right. In the air, right center field. Hunter is there, makes the catch. Inning is over, but the Angels give up a run and a couple of hits and several mistakes defensively. Season record for home runs by a switch hitter with 28. Who holds the records for righties and lefties? The right-hander, of course, is Troy Glaus with 47 in 2000. And Reggie Jackson back in 1982 from the left side blasted 39 home runs. Angels right now trailing 6-1 to the Oakland Athletics, and Steve Physioc along with Rex Hudler, and now joined by the Angels general manager Tony Riggins. Congratulations again, job well done acquiring Scott Kazmir from Tampa Bay. Let me get this wire down here to give you a little freedom.
All right.
But tell me about Kazmir and how the deal got done.
Well, it was something that we've talked about over the last week, and we targeted Scott prior to the July 31st trade line. There was discussions about him, and we were involved in other things as well. So it didn't materialize, but we've been talking about Scott for really the last 2 years. Between myself, Mike, and Artie, and the coaching staff and scouts, he's been a player of interest. So we were glad to see the deal be able to finally be finalized.
Vlad Guerrero is the first out of the 4th inning. Here is Scott Kazmir coming to the Angels. You see what he's averaged his last 4 years: 11 wins, 186 strikeouts. And how much of an influence was Mike Butcher, because he worked with this young man when he was the pitching coach at Tampa Bay?
Well, we're fortunate enough to have Mike in the house, where we know he knows Scott very well, and he knows his performance level and his tendencies and his history and his makeup. And those things were important when we're trying to find out information on Scott Kazmir. Being able to work with him on a day-to-day basis has been very, very valuable information for us.
What does Butchie like most about him?
He likes everything. He competes, for one, and his stuff is outstanding. He's been a little inconsistent, but when he's right, he's probably one of the top pitchers in the league, and hopefully we can see that from Scott.
Tony, you're on the phone all the time, every day, throughout the whole entire season. Okay, so you know, you're always looking for players and that are going to help the team.
Juan Rivera flies out to left.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's my job. I have to try to exhaust every opportunity to make this club better, and that's what I try to do on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes things work out for us, and sometimes they don't. But this was a situation where, you know, they really liked our players, our young players, and we liked the players that were involved in this trade as well. But we just had to give up something to get something, and we think this is going to help us not only in the next month, but the next couple of years.
Do you think you're finished this year dealing, or do you might add a bullpen arm?
You never say never. I think there's still opportunities out there that can strengthen our club, and we'll keep moving forward trying to make something happen.
And Tony, the one thing I noticed just studying Scott's year this season, he had a very bad May, but he was also pitching through a leg injury. Then they placed him on the DL. He came back, pitched better in July, even better in August. So do you feel we're getting the most consistent and healthiest Scott Kazmir?
I believe that's correct. He's pitching deeper into games. His stuff is getting better each time out. And we're not looking for him to come out and be the savior.
Kendry Morales trying to drive out his second one, and that ball is off the top of the wall. It will be a double for Morales after the first time up. He homered to left center field.
Okay, so a year ago, you added Mark Teixeira. Okay, one of the greatest free agent acquisitions of all time in the trade at the end of the season. Okay, and now this year you go ahead and add an arm, but then tell us about how Artie told or asked you guys, hey, what are we going to do if Teixeira doesn't re-sign? How did that whole situation go? You knew K-Mo was your guy because he's been unbelievable this season.
Well, we were fortunate. Our scouts did a great job, and our development people did a great job with Kendry and getting him focused and directed to play at the major league level. He knew what it took. He's had bits and pieces and opportunities, but we hadn't been able to put it all together. But we saw the ability that he has, and he can drive the baseball from both sides of the plate, and he's playing better defense each day. So we're thrilled with his progress.
So you're not really surprised with his production?
We're not really. He's hitting more home runs than I thought he'd hit, but as far as swinging the bat with authority, that's not surprising.
We're visiting with Tony Regans, the Angels general manager, who just pulled off the deal, acquiring Scott Kazmir from the Tampa Bay Rays today. How about his contract? Tell fans about what his contract is. How many more years will he be with the Angels?
Well, with Scott Kazmir, we have him under control this year, plus 2 more years and an option year. So there's a good chance that Scott is around here for a few more years, and will really provide stability to our pitching staff, and that's going to be important as we look toward the future.
Ground ball, second base. That's the final out. Tony, if you've got a chance, we'd like to keep you for another half inning.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
All right, we'll be back with the Angels general
his
manager.
His phone's ringing. Pick it up, Tony. Hurry. Pick it up.
Tony Regans, who was able to pull off the deal today, acquiring Scott Kazmir from the Tampa Bay Rays. And right now the Angels competing with the Oakland Athletics, and to lead things off, Jack Cust, who has struck out and has a sacrifice fly. A lot of fans might be saying, so you want to be a general manager? Tony went to bed at 2:30 this morning, got up at 5:30 on that phone in his quest to make the Angels a better ball club. You got to be exhausted.
This has been a challenging day, but it's a fun day. There's a lot of excitement, and when you're able to accomplish the deal, to finally get the deal done, it's much gratifying. And there's a lot of hard work going into this, not only by myself, but by the staff and the coaching staff and our owner Artie. He's been outstanding, supporting what we do and giving us the resources to be able to make a deal like this. So we're excited about this, and we'll be moving forward, and hopefully this is going to take us where we want to be.
So that was a false alarm, that phone call. It was from wife Colleen. Now, is she saying you need to get home tonight and get some rest?
It'll be fun to be able to get home and see my wife and kids.
Well, let me ask you this. Today we heard it was a deal, then it was no deal, then a question mark on the deal. What did you go through? What took place today?
There were some things when obviously when there's a lot of players involved like this, the medical side of it you have to take care of it, and everybody has to sign off on everything. So there's a lot of money involved and a lot of information going back and forth. So we just wanted to make sure we had all our I's dotted and T's crossed.
Tony, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Angels. Of course, you hope that there's a lot more baseball to play before you get to that offseason, but a lot of free agents, Figgy, Lackey, and even D.O., Darren Oliver. He's going to be a free agent. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Now, how far ahead do you look?
We try to project 3 years out at a minimum and really start to look at the fourth year as well. But last year we had a lot of tough decisions to make, and this year we're going to have a lot of tough decisions to make. We'll make those decisions. We'll put thought and input and communication behind them and make the best decisions for this club going forward.
And even Big Daddy Vladdy.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of talented players that are going to be free agents, but we'll make the best decisions, and we're going to put a winner on the field next year.
I know you're not the field manager, but do you know when Scott will be here, Scott Kazmir will be here, and when he will start next for the Angels?
Well, Scott will be in California fairly soon, and it's going to be up to Mike, obviously, when he starts. But when we get him, we're going to welcome him with open arms, and hopefully everything works out the way we all planned it. He's excited. He can't wait to get out here, and that's good to see.
So you have talked to him personally today?
Yeah, I had a chance to speak to him just a moment ago, and he's excited. He can't wait to get here, and he's going to go out there and compete. And again, we're not looking for him to be the savior. Just come in and be Scott Kazmir, and that'll be good enough for us.
Sean Figgins, bare hands, flips it to first, gets his man. What a tremendous play on both ends by Sean and first baseman Kendry Morales.
I tell you what, when you got a play like that against a speedy runner, you don't have any time to glove it. He barehanded it and just let it go. Now you can't find the seams on a ball like that. You just want to get rid of it with a little petrol on it. We call that rid and troll. Get rid of it with some petrol on it. Troll. That's a troll. He's got plenty of troll. He short hops it. Morales. He's been nice on defense for the Angels this year. But that play you saw last night, Tony, your two middle infielders, Esteuris to Ibar to Morales, was a spectacular fielding play.
Oh, it was an awesome play by two athletic individuals, and obviously it was one of the top plays of the season.
It seems like this team was looking for starting pitching depth from the very beginning because of all the injuries and certainly the tragedy with Nick Adenhart. Well, the Angels will strike out Ryan Sweeney. They get him for the first time in this game. Tony Regans, we thank you for being here. He's the Angels general manager who pulled off the deal today to acquire Scott Kazmir.
There's the phone, folks. It's hot. Man, that's hot.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Every night, Tony. Every night.
Wow.
He walked his first time up. The Angels only have 3 hits in the ball game. They only had 3 hits last night off of athletic pitching. And Tomko brings the fastball, and it catches the outside corner. An 0-2 count to Howie.
That's all he's going to do. It's throw fastballs. He's got a straight one, and he cuts another one. He's got a cutter. It's been very effective for him. Good pickup by the Oakland A's to get the veteran out of that deep bullpen in New York.
Brett Tomko, we told you at the start of the game, from nearby in Placentia. He was actually born in Cleveland but raised in Southern California. His dad is a huge fan. So is his mom. Pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Kendrick, and that is strikeout number 4 for Brett Tomko.
Yeah, free and easy. And you know, today before the game, most starting pitchers stay in the comforts of the air conditioning clubhouse, but not this kid. Tomko, I say kid, well, he's a grown man, and he's out there stretching with his guys. If you ask him, he would tell you he'd much rather have been a position player. That's the kind of mentality he has. But he's been blessed with a great arm.
Yeah, he played for Art Masmanian at Mount San Antonio Junior College. He and his brother Scott. But then transferred to Florida Southern, where he was the Division II College Player of the Year, and
look at that,
helped them to their 8th national championship.
Look at the mileage. Look at the teams. Man, he is well versed in meeting people.
The way he's pitched with Oakland, you say, where was he with the Yankees? They're bringing him out of the pen. Man, he is throwing the cheese at the knees to the Angels and just racing through them.
And I don't see the Angels catching him at all. He's blowing it by most of them. And it's a good fastball hitting team. They're just down a little bit in the confidence department.
Well, it's flat impossible to average 7 runs per game, and the Angels were doing that for a 2-month stretch. And now they've hit a rut. They're 1-3 on the homestand. They lost 2-0 to Trevor Cahill in the Athletics last night. Mickey Hatcher knew it would come, and he said, hey, we've got to start winning more 1- and 2-run games. But it's their starting pitching that needs to start pitching better, and they only have 11 quality starts since the All-Star break. But Mike Butcher got a friend and former teammate from Tampa Bay today in Scott Kazmir. When Butchie was there, that's the year that Kazmir led the American League in strikeouts with 239.
And Butchie, can't wait to get him in his little pitching harem, as he'll go out and work his mechanics. They'll probably just watch him a little bit and then give him the ball and see how he starts. And he'll be in line most likely for 5 days from now.
Mathis strikes out. That's 5 Ks in the ball game for Brett Tomko. The Angels will be teaming up with the American Red Cross and UCI Medical Center for a blood drive to honor the memory of Nick Adenhart. The blood drive will support the American Red Cross as well as UCI Medical Center's trauma unit to supply blood to patients in critical need. The blood drive will take place at Angel Stadium tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. To make your appointment, please call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit the community section at angelsbaseball.com for more details.
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be out by gate 6, I believe.
Okay, and then you have to call, or can you just show up?
Well, you can just show up just like we've done it in the past.
Okay.
I always give. I have the most typical blood, and they want it, and I go every 3 months. I'm on their email list.
Well, your back's been thrown out on you lately. You better keep all that blood to yourself if you need some.
No, I got to give it. There's the bones, and then there's the blood. The blood's fine. Back's been barking a little bit lately.
Well, Tomko, 90% fastballs, a couple of change-ups to left-handed batters, and he just threw a little overhand curveball. Got everything working the way he wants it. 82 pitches thrown.
And that will go through the legs of Adam Kennedy and reach left field. An error on AK, and that will be number 11 this year.
We better wait until he puts it on the board first. We don't know what he's going to call on that.
E5.
Oh, okay. Figgy slapping it. Loves the third baseman in like that. He'll hit it to his right or to his left, and it usually is a double. Howard's Exmo slows it down. Look at that good head position. Stayed right on it. Good balance. And AK says, you know what? I don't mind the hot corner because they come at you hot. I just want to play ball.
Oakland with 5 in the third, 1 in the fourth. The Angels got 1 in the second, and that's been it. Bobby Abreu, the batter, 0 for 2. And Tomkos throws over as Figgins looking for his 40th stolen base. If he gets it, it'll be the 4th time in the last 5 years that he's been at 40 or beyond, and he's trying to reach that bag. He does not go, and the pitch comes up and in on Bobby. Ball 1.
Homers are going to help him get back in it.
Home run cuts the lead in half. Figgins reached on the air.
There,
1-1.
There's the nice little floating change, and you know, at 88, 89 miles an hour, it's got good velocity, but it's nowhere near as 95. So it's enough to throw the hitter off a little bit, and he's only throwing them to lefties. See the high-low marks there? That's what you want to do. Pitcher's main job is to keep the hitter off balance if he can.
Angels lead the Athletics by 19.5 in the West. Texas has lost tonight 3-2 in their first game of the series with the Minnesota Twins at the Dome. He did a slide step there, quick home, but he misses. It's 2-1. 2 out. Figgins reached on the air. Angels at one time had a 1-0 lead, but Trevor Bell could not make it through the third as the Athletics sent 9 men to the plate. Struck Bell for 5 hits. Way inside. 3-1.
He pitches inside very effectively. And that's that cutter. Pretty good pitch for him. I mentioned it. He's executing. Abreu, out of his 7 hits, does have 1 home run off Tomko in his career. Torrey Hunter 0 for 2, wanting to make a difference. He already does make a difference, though. Torrey is showing up to work every day.
Count is full, 3-2.
So Sean Figgins and Bobby Abreu have a little internal competition between walks. Who's going to have the most walks at the end of the year? Abreu has 75. Figgy has 78.
Figgins goes, pitch is swung on, rolled to the second baseman. He claims it, throws out Bobby. Inning is over. Tomko has pitched well through 5 innings.
Great play like that from Sean Figgins. He's made numerous of great plays this season over the top of the strong arm. That's Coors Light Freeze Camp, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, cold and refreshing, just like you like it. Biggie plays defense like you like it too.
Angels bringing out a new pitcher. He'll be the third one used tonight, as the Angels started Trevor Bell, and Bell did not make it through 3 and gave up 5 runs. Oliver went the next through the 5th and gave up 1. And now Arredondo with a 5.86 ERA can make a mark because he has a tremendous arm, but has not shown great consistency this year, both at the minors or major league level. But he has a month to show them that he can be an important part of the pen. Had a marvelous rookie season last year, winning 10 games with a 1.62 ERA.
Nope, it is time to perform for Arredondo and all of these guys. This is a production-based business, and that's why players kind of stay into their own little shell. They don't talk a lot to the media. They kind of protect that stuff, you know, keep their focus and go out and do your work and execute strikes is what Mike Scioscia wants. He's got a good split finger sinker combination, mixes in a couple sliders once in a while. But last year he was lights out. This year he lacked a little bit of confidence and also had a little bit of arm trouble and had a little bump in the road this year for him. But it's happened. This game's very difficult to figure out. Look at that action.
Yeah, Ellis went on that one, and the count now evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mark came in hot, hitting .349 in August with 21 RBIs, but 0 for 2 in this one and 0 for 5 in the series. He's got some surprising pop for a little guy, a second baseman out of Rapid City, South Dakota. Chases a split finger in the dirt, and they say it was foul tipped. Ooh. Mike Scioscia doesn't like that. It's a little like yesterday.
Stays in the dugout. See, Scioscia likes to come out and ask for help. Ask the umpire, hey, can you get a little help? But since home plate umpire Andy Fletcher, he went down and looked right away at Greg Gibson, the first base umpire, and Gibson confirmed right away that it was a foul tip, and so Scioscia didn't have any beefs.
Count is full 3-2. And then he comes with the fastball, and Ellis pops it up. Shallow center. Ibar is able to recover and make the catch. 1 down to start the 6th inning. I will say there was some doubt when Ellis took the swing in his face, and he started towards the dugout and then just kind of slowed up and looked back at the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher. He wasn't that convinced whether he struck it foul, but
well, the thing was is that Arredondo had some really good pitches to him in that sequence and moved a lot, so he wasn't real sure, and that's a good sign for Arredondo. They continue to hold these guys down. Now Ollie did a nice job. He threw 43 pitches. That's a lot for the old man, but you know he did a good job. He only gave up 1 run, and he don't mind if I call him an old man.
Really?
Nah, he don't mind. It's all good. I only had 5 at-bats off of Ollie when he was a starter, when I was a player, and I knew I took him deep. And I even told people I took him deep. And then he went to the computer and looked it up, and he said, Hud, you're wrong. Your information's wrong. You're 0 for 5 with 3 punch-outs against me, but you did have 1 measly RBI.
And you hit a ball foul a long way.
Had some good ABs, I told him, though.
There's a rope towards right, but well foul.
And you see, really, the game's so hard. If you go 0 for 4 and you're a hitter, you go home that night. You want to know, did you have quality at-bats in that 0 for 4? That's what they look for. You know, where you just see a lot of pitches, you strike the ball well.
That's like that story Brian Downing was telling yesterday, who was inducted into the Angels Hall of Fame. He said he had a long at-bat against a certain pitcher twice where he swung at 6 of his pitches, did make contact in 1 of them. And he said, man, tomorrow night they're all going to start pitching me like that. So we went home in his garage, and he said he cranked up the pitching machine and to where it was the identical pitch. and he opened up his stance, and he stood in there for probably another hour until he was hitting line drives. And the next day, they did throw him that pitch, and he had like 2 or 3 hits.
Hey, that's how you figure it out. You know, sometimes you struggle, and most major league teams have a pitching machine down in the basement or in the batting cage somewhere. And long after everybody's gone, there's some players that go down there and hit all night long to try to find themselves. They don't have the luxury of having a batting cage in their backyard like Downing put in, but that's advisable because you're always looking for different ways that you can find something that's going to click for you.
Well, Downing, a great example of hard work. And he made himself into a ball player, didn't even start until his senior year in high school and didn't play that much. 1 year of junior college ball and only had 3 at-bats and had 1 hit. So his friend, who happened to be a neighbor and relative, who was also a Chicago White Sox scout, signed him for a bonus of $2,000. And Brian said, nobody on my junior college team could believe that I signed with a major league club. Hey, you only got 3 ABs. Why'd they like you? Here's the next pitch to Barton. And it's outside, but Downing worked himself into a great player. And when he left, he had 275 home runs. Barton works the walk. 1 on, 1 out for Cliff Pennington. Angels having a tough time against the American League West, just 15-20 within their division. Wow. Not good. The Angels usually control things like last year, years past. But I will say this. There's a ground ball to third. Sean Figgins gets 1, and they can't get 2. Pennington runs too well. It's a 5-4.
Yes, but you know what? If the Angels continue to beat teams, it doesn't really matter what division they're in, because you know you can have a losing record in your own division and still win the league and have some success in postseason. Howard's Exmo shows you that Pennington's foot got the front part of the base just in time, and for you runners out there, that's proper. That's where you want to step on the base when you run through first, right at the very front of the base. Get you there quicker. Don't step on the top of the base or in back of the base. You got to have a focus and some foot coordination. Sometimes you got to think about that.
Adam Kennedy has walked and singled. He scored a run and driven 1 home. Sends a roller to Kendry Morales. He covers it and smothers it. Comes back to the bag, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll see Torrey Hunter when we come back. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. The Oakland Athletics with a 6-1 lead as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The middle of the order coming up for the Angels, Torrey Hunter, Vlad Guerrero, and Juan Rivera. Brett Tomko delivers that fastball still in the low 90s, and he gets strike one across to Hunter, who is 0 for 2, and Hunter has a 13-game hit streak on the line. Breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball, 1 start. 1 strike.
12 for 29 in first pitch strikes by Tomko. But you know, it seems like he's thrown a lot more than that. He's getting ahead of Angel hitters and having them hitting balls at people.
Like here. Pennington throws him out. 1 down. Hey, time for What You Know, brought to you by Radio Shack. This series between the Angels and Athletics always has been tight. Angels and A's with wins in their last 145 meetings. Angels with 73. A's with a win could even it up. That's since 2002 when the Athletics won the West and the Angels won the wild card. 53 games decided by 1 run. Vlad Guerrero takes a breaking ball that misses low ball 1. Tomko has gone past the 90 pitch mark. He's at 93. He's just been a starter with Oakland before he came out of the bullpen with New York. That's a little roller that's going to go foul. Vlad will be coming back. Rex, here's an interesting story about Brett Tomko. Did you know his folks were such incredible fans that he and his dad and his mom met at a hockey game in Cleveland, and his dad was such a fan that his dad won the contest for naming the NBA's Cleveland team the Cavaliers. His dad named the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had a fan send in your thoughts on what the team should be named, and his dad sent in Cavaliers, and that was selected.
I'd never heard
Pretty
that.
cool.
That's outstanding.
Way to go, Brett's dad.
Is that why we call you the professor?
I have all this meaningless information.
That's great. So he's really pitching Vladdy all over the strike zone here. High fastball, sliders down. You know, Mike Scioscia, he's talked about it before, and he's heard some of the complaints from some of the fans, you know, on the call-in shows about Vladdy hitting fourth. Okay? Some people think he hits into too many double plays. He's not as productive as Morales. How come Morales is not batting fourth? And Scioscia just says, we believe in Vladdy.
A base hit to left center field. That's just the Angels' 4th hit of the ball game. They have 1 on with 1 out, trying to make a dent into Brett Tomko's success he has had for 5 1/3 innings.
Okay, a notorious bad ball hitter. You saw where Kurt Suzuki was going to catch that one, going to end up on the ground, but Vladdy kept his hands in and just shot it out there.
Craig Breslow has been warming this inning because Tomko has not gone that deep into ball games. The most pitches he's thrown this year, the 87 in his last start against Detroit. Went 6 innings in that one. Juan Rivera takes outside for a ball.
Yeah, they didn't really need Juan to get going again. He's just 1 for 11 on this homestand. Now, in his defense against the Detroit Tigers, he hit the ball hard, right at people.
Juan hits it hard again, but skies it straight up in the air towards the center fielder, Rajai Davis, who is there to make the catch, and that is the 2nd out. Rex, back to the story you're talking about, Vlad Guerrero and Kenny Morales. Morales, this is his first full season in the major leagues, having success in his role in the 6th spot, occasionally at the 5, sometimes he's at 7. But this team, for a 2-month stretch, averaged 7 runs per game. And why mess with the great chemistry that they have, and they have a 4-game lead in the American League West?
I'll answer that after I give Tomko some love. Great job, Brett. Heck, that performance is right up there with your dad's naming the Cavaliers. Way to go, man.
they fall, will not lose any ground in the American League West. Now they'll face a lefty in Craig Breslow, who leads the American League and is tied for third in the majors with a career-high 64 games pitched already.
That's right. Hey, look, still being used a lot. I mean, he's leading the team with experience, no question. They use him against righties and lefties. Overall, done a solid job for the A's out of the pen, and he'll be counted on in later innings. And that's where we are right now. We're getting towards the end of the ball game. Tomko just left. I think the Angels are pretty happy about that. We knew he'd be tough. But this kid Breslow, he is not related to our famous cameraman, Rusty Breslow.
Famous cameraman.
Oh, he's famous. He does all the shows. He's a big star. There's Rusty. And I talked to Rusty. He said, you know, my grandpa had 3 brothers, and we all were raised in that part of the country. Now, Rusty did talk to Craig Breslow, and they don't think they're related, but he says they could be related because he never checked with his grandma's side, the Breslows. He just talked to his grandpa about the 3 brothers he had. But anyway, Rusty, we'll talk about his lineage and his family tree at a later date. But good job, Rusty. Now we'll see if the Angels with 2 outs can get something out of Morales on the right side.
Henry going deep to right center field, and that ball is off the top of the wall. Coming around is Vladimir Guerrero. He will score, and Kendry Morales has his second double of the game. Mike Scioscia is going out to argue, and he may appeal to the umpires. As the first base umpire was racing out there, Greg Gibson, and Greg looked at the top of the wall and then waved his hands off the wall.
Well, I'm sure we'll take a look at this again. They're going to show it. They might. Yeah, he's going to go. Mike Scioscia says, "Hey, look, come on, let's review it." Major League Baseball has a review plan. Okay, where they instant replay and they go back and they talk about it. Okay, so Mike just wants them to get together, see if they're going to take another time to go view this. But there was one earlier on the homestand against the Tigers. And so we're all well schooled on the ground rules, as there's a little bit of a cement barrier at the very top of the scoreboard before it goes over the fence. And the cement on the flat part of the playing surface is in play. And there's cement on top. 2 bases. Yeah, so they're saying 2 bases now. They're going to go check, but right now they said 2. Give us a little timeout. As they're going to take, Tim McClellan's the crew chief, and he'll take 2 others with him. And there's one umpire, Ted Barrett, who's left out there to make sure there's no riffraff going on while they're gone.
Like if they came back and Kendry Morales was at third base.
Or what happened if some words were said and a melee broke out? Okay, Ted Barrett's the right guy to have out there because Ted Barrett, he's a boxer. He was a professional boxer. So Ted Barrett is the right guy.
You're telling me Ted Barrett's going to separate 50 guys?
Hey, if anybody could, he could.
All right, but Kendry Morales with 3 extra base hits in this ball game. He now has the second most extra base hits in the American League this year.
That's some opposite field pop right there. I mean, a tough angle again to see.
And, oh, man, it's off the top again, Hud.
Well, and there's a little bar behind there. Okay, sometimes it'll hit that top and kick off the bar, but we're going to show the upper right part of the screen, and we're going to show it hit.
Right seemed like by the Texas.
But he's got tremendous opposite field power. And we just show, we've been seeing most of it from the left side of the plate, but right-handed he's starting to come around.
Well, here's the replay review. It's used to determine fair or foul fan interference or the ball leaving the playing field like we just saw. The managers cannot demand it, but crew chief Tim McClellan said to take a look. After a review, the crew chief will return to the field, signal the final call, and he will reposition the runners if necessary. The decision made by the crew chief is final, and they cannot ask again. But I just think it's as conclusive as the last one we saw, and that resulted in the double. So I'm guessing Kendry will stay at second base. He will have an RBI, his 87th of the year. Okay. You're right, he has some kind of pop from both sides of the plate.
So what the headquarters in New York look at is both feeds. They'll take our camera feed from the Angels broadcast, and they'll take the Oakland A's feed, and they'll look at both of them, seeing if there's any kind of extra angle that the cameramen may have gotten. But Ted Barrett, This guy, he's in his 13th season as an umpire, the lone umpire standing out there. You know what's impressive is that he received a master's degree in biblical studies at Trinity University and is now pursuing a doctorate in theology. That's Ted Barrett. He's a man of many skills that like to wear the cloth.
My brother has a doctorate in theology, and he is a chaplain in the U.S. Army. So we'll have to get Bart and Ted together. Right now, it's Mike Scioscia watching his man, Kendry Morales. You know, I talked about the 3 extra base hits. How about this? He has 64 extra base hits. Guess who is ahead of him by 1?
Teixeira.
Exactly. 65. And that's where we believe it hit, right in front of that fan with the glove.
Right.
Mark there.
Okay, there's the cement on top. Okay, and there's the little bar, maybe about 6 inches behind it. Sometimes balls will hit on the top and kick off the bar and come out, but that's what replay is all about. You want to make sure they get the calls right, and especially plays that impact the game. So Bob Garen's going to wait. And there is this little cement barrier. As you can see, it has a little edge to it right up here. There's a little flat edge, see, that's going to kick the ball in this direction. And it could bounce off of that pole. But there, that little railing. But the fans were denied a souvenir from Morales.
And they're playing Pong on the scoreboard. I think it's the scoreboard operators. And right now,
remember that game? That was one of the first video games that ever came out.
I think Peter Bull just won the last one, dominating 11-3. Way to go, Peter.
That's pretty fun. But Scioscia is not in any mood to laugh right now. He wants that extra run. Vladdy scored all the way from first base. Bob Garen's talking to the pen, hoping to win.
Because they were able to turn around Kendry Morales and have him back from the right side. They wanted to do the same with Erick Aybar, but then they will have a couple of right-handers.
Tim McClellan, he'll make the call. 2 bases.
And that's the final decision. And it's a correct call because it's the exact call we saw earlier this week. 2-base hit for Kendry Morales, who has 2 doubles and a home run. He has driven in both Angel runs.
All right, let's get back to Breslow. He's got a fastball. He's going to sink it a little bit. He's got a curve slider and a changeup.
And he has good focus. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other Breslow.
He's a cameraman. Fizz, come on, you know he's got good focus.
Erick Aybar takes a strike on the outside corner.
There's a little let up there, a nice let up pitch. Now Big Daddy did score a run.
Aybar fouls it off. Erick with a base hit to left field his first time up and a ground out to second in the 4th.
And what kind of run producer is Aybar? His next ribby will be his 50th, and he's a 304 hitter with runners in scoring position. Right-handed, he's hitting 308. Left-handed, 312. He's got more pop from this side of the plate.
Erick waves at the pitch by Breslow. Suzuki up with the baseball, throws out Erick as the ball was in the dirt. So the strikeout, the Angels score 1 run on 2 and cut Oakland's lead to 4. are our friends. We went to Kendry Morales, a home run and a pair of doubles tonight. 64 extra base hits. The man in front of him, Mark Teixeira, did get another one today, so he now has 66. The New York Yankees knocked off the White Sox 5-2. Here is Jose Arredondo's pitch to Rajai Davis. He sends it to center field where Torrey Hunter is waiting, and that's out number 1 in the 7th inning.
Hold him down. Looks like the Angels are trying to come around a little bit here. They've got a couple more shots to get back in this one, but that's Arredondo's job. Trevor Bell didn't last long in this one. They bombarded him in the 3rd inning.
Well, the Angels starting pitchers have had a rough time. They've only thrown 25 innings this entire homestand. And do you know how many 1, 2, 3 innings they've had, the starting rotation?
Nope.
2 clean innings. Well, they're going to get some help. Scott Kazmir was acquired today from the Tampa Bay Rays. He's an 8-game winner. He was a 2-time All-Star in his past from 2008 and 2006, and he'll join the Angels with a career record of 55 and 44 and a good fresh left arm. Jose Arredondo, the Angels' 3rd pitcher. Bell, then Oliver, now Arredondo.
Okay, this is the best stuff that we've seen from Arredondo this year. When I say stuff, that's a word used to describe a pitcher's action on his ball. Whether it's a changeup, fastball, stuff means he's got stuff. He's got good hair, I like to say sometimes. A little hair on the fastball, a little movement. A lot of words they use to describe what goes on in the grand game.
Mike Scioscia wants to see him do a better job of controlling the count, getting in front of the count, finishing guys off. He's fallen behind Kurt Suzuki 3-1. And Suzuki breaks his bat, lines it into Sean Figgins' glove. That's some kind of leaping ability for a guy 5'7".
Another word I'll use in the game is hops. Figgy's got hops. Now that fastball is bore in on Suzuki right there. Suzuki, he can't buy a hit in this series. Angels, now that's 3 hits they've robbed from him, and now just the 2nd game.
Suzuki was the guy who struck the baseball that went up the middle in his Turris and Ibar, and Morales teamed up for a remarkable play. Best play in baseball certainly last night, one of the best we've seen all year. Angels trailing these A's by 4 here in the top of the 7th inning. Jack Cust is the batter. He came in red hot, 12 for 23, but still looking for his first base hit of this series. He's 0 for 2 in this one with a pair of strikeouts, so 4 strikeouts in the series. And Arredondo has him down.
Wow.
Didn't miss by much.
Got some nice movement going on. This kid, he can emerge here with just a little over a month to play as an important role in the pen if he continues to have good action like that and stays in counts. Because when he has movement, that split finger going down in the low 90s is a tough one, and then that sinker, so he's got really, good weapons to retire batters on.
Misses upstairs, so after going 0-2, now he's run the count full 3-2 to Jack Cust, who walks a lot. He has a very good eye on base percentage despite a low batting average of .241. And he hits that one and muscles it deep to right field, and Bobby Abreu has to play it off the wall and brings it quickly to second base, and Cust has to stay for one. A single. Good defense by Bobby Abreu.
Ooh, man, I'll tell you what, that would have been a homer had he hit the bottom underside of the ball, except he hit the top half of the ball, so it had topspin on it. Okay, not going to leave the yard over that big wall here at the Big A.
Bobby Abreu played it well.
There would be a lot more home runs hit in this ballpark if they had not remodeled that right field wall area and built that wall up and made it one wall.
Yeah, but all the rules are made to help the offense. How about some rules and walls to help the defense and the pitching?
I agree, but before this was the home run.
Right.
Yeah, that was the home run line. Before there was about a 10-foot space between the back wall and that home run porch.
Scott Hairston pops it up left side. Juan Rivera says he has it. He does. That will end the 7th inning for the Oakland Athletics. We'll come back and see Howie Kendrick will lead it off when we pick on the bottom of the 7th. This date in 1977, the Angels' Nolan Ryan reaches 300 strikeouts in a season for the 5th time in his career. He would go on to accomplish the feat once more as a member of the Texas Rangers and holds the major league record with 6 seasons of 300 or more strikeouts. But I will say this, Randy Johnson would join him. 6 seasons of 300 or more strikeouts. But nobody's had more in a single season than the Express, and he did it with the Angels back in the early 70s. Here is Howie Kendrick to lead things off, trying to get on base against Breslow. Kendrick 0 for 1 with a walk and strikeout.
He started him with a changeup. That's a good pitch for him. Especially when he's ahead in the count, he'll use that changeup. He's got a little bit of a slider. That's his out pitch.
Auto play 1 and 2.
Angels need a couple bloops and a blast. They want to make these things interesting here, or they could frenzy style hit and just pile the singles on. Anything, Socha says. Man, we got to beat a team from the West.
They are 15 and 20 versus the West. We told you about their struggles against the West, but St. Louis in 2006 had a losing record within their division. They were 39 and 42 against the National League Central, and they didn't do too badly that year. They got hot at the right time and won it. Won it all, beating Detroit.
But you know, 3 out of the 4 teams here in the West have winning records.
Hit sharply at third. Kennedy knocks it down and then airmails it into the dugout. So Kendrick will get second on Kennedy's second error of the night.
Oh well. He had a hard time finding the handle the first time through. Okay, then he reloaded and he didn't have a chance to shuffle his feet and his arm angle dropped. So you young third baseman, watch what happens when your arm angle drops from a long throwing spot like third. Okay, picks it up, he sidearm, he tries to flip it over there like he did as a second baseman, and you lose control, the ball sails on you. Okay, Howie runs well. Kennedy kind of got his arm angle wrong and he airmailed that. Let's see if the Angels can turn that into something.
Well, the Angels came into this series the best hitting team in the major leagues with runners in scoring position at 304. In this series, they are 0 for 8. And Jeff Mathis wants to pick them up and get that third run home. Knocked foul. Strike 2. Mathis 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts against the starting pitcher, Brett Tomko. Tomko went 6 2/3 and then lifted for Breslow. Breslow gave up a double to Morales that drove in a run. So 2 runs allowed by Brett Tomko tonight. A home run by Morales. Struck him out on a breaking ball. So Jeff is 0 for 3.
That's his out pitch. Little slider.
Fans, the Angels are helping you wind down your summer with an exciting ticket offer during this week's homestand. Still available for the Sunday, August 30th game. Fans can purchase view-level seats for just $5 and right field pavilion seats as low as $10 when using the password SUMMER at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window. $5 view-level tickets. Sean Figgins, the batter, and he takes low and in. Angels got to come through in the clutch. Once again, no hits in this series with runners in scoring position. Now 0 for 9. Outside 2-0 to Sean Figgins with lefty Bobby Abreu waiting. Then we may see a right-handed pitcher, Brad Ziegler, to face Hunter and Guerrero.
Another spectacular crowd tonight. Over 41,000. 41,912.
Fastball that barely misses. It's a 3-0 count to Sean. He may take 2 because the Angels down by 4 runs here in the 7th inning. They want to find a way of starting a rally. Abreu waiting his turn next.
Haven't seen Figgy swing on a 3-0 pitch all year long.
Strike in there, 3-1.
Home run hitters get the green light. On base percentage guys, they don't even have to look down to see if there's any signal for a green light. They know better.
Just start the rally.
Keep it going here.
Figgins lines it sharply to right field. That's a base hit. Kendrick had the hold momentarily, and the throw home is a good one. So the Angels wisely do not send him now. The Halos have 2 on with just 1 out, and Abreu coming up.
Howie Kendrick, he did the right thing. Okay, he wasn't sure if Sweeney was going to get to it or not, so he kind of froze a little bit. And with less than 2 outs, that's what you want to do. You don't want to just assume and take him out of a potential inning here. So he did the right thing.
And Ryan Sweeney has 11 outfield assists this year. Only Nick Markakis and Jason Bay have more with 12. Just keep it going.
Okay, now with the speed on the bases, Kurt Suzuki stepped out in front of home plate and he gave some signs to the infielders to let them know where he's going to throw the ball if Figgy does attempt to steal.
That was the Angels' first base hit with a man in scoring position in this series.
Now, if there's a speedy runner at third base, most teams that have been facing the Angels that we've watched, when it gets late in the game, they'll fake the throw to second because they're so nervous and worried about a double steal. But they're up by 4 runs, and if Figgy does go, you'd expect Suzuki to try to throw him out. Because outs, they're getting down to where outs are premium when you have a lead in a visiting ballpark.
Angels scored a run in the 6th. Trying to keep the momentum swinging their way and cutting into that Oakland lead as the Athletics scored 5 times in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Bobby swings and misses at a slider that sweeps away from him.
Then he'll continue to see that slider.
He's had a tough homestand, just a couple of hits and now 19 at bats. Pair of ground outs and a fly out tonight.
Okay, he's a good defender, is Craig Breslow. See how he just kind of had a little, I'm going to show you a little move over there just to give Figgy a little bit of attention. He throws accurately to the bases. Average move to first. Shows pretty good awareness. And he's not real easy to steal bases on.
2-1.
Just kind of brings that leg up slowly, and that kind of freezes the runner from getting a good start. Because you don't know if he's going to throw over from that position or not. Most lefties have a good move just standing there looking at you. Some are more exceptional than others.
Tight. Bobby almost got hit. Good hitters count at 3-1. Torrey Hunter waiting. He likely will see the guy who's been warming up in the pen, Brad Ziegler.
Yeah, Ziegler's a guy that's tough on righties. To his sidearm, almost drags his knuckles at times on the ground.
3-1 swung on, hit to the first baseman, bobbles it, has time, Abreu safe, and a run scores, and the inning continues.
Wow, and Craig Breslow, he's like adamant that he made the tag on Abreu. On a botched ball by Barton, first baseman, couldn't find the handle. And you can see that if you're a base runner. So Abreu has a couple different gears, and he downshifted and went quicker into first base. And Greg Gibson says that he missed him. So now, as expected, Guerin's going to go to the bullpen. Okay, this ball down over, shattered his bat. Now watch Abreu. He picks it now. And now good athleticism there. Got him on the hip. Angels will take the break. No replay there.
Pitching change right now. Ziegler in.
Attack him.
Well, there's Captain Kirk and looking outside, and what does he see but the rally monkey? Maybe now's the time, Hud.
Oh, man, it's scared. It startled Chapman. He's seeing Spock out there, too.
Well, Spock is his ally, so maybe the rally monkey is on Captain Kirk's side. If you make noise, he will come, and the place went crazy.
They got a good, tough right-hander in now. He's got a real good sinker. Curve and a change.
Hunter goes after the first pitch, lines it sharply foul. And this is a guy who can get the double play. Brad Ziegler has a 1.33 ERA since June 20th. He has stranded 13 of his 14 inherited runners over that span.
Okay, so Torrey, whenever you see a ball up, your eyes light up. You want to hit it, and he did. He just missed that. And keeping it fair.
A chopper that Ziegler drops, picks up, throws, got him, but the runners do advance.
Ziegler with that hard sinking fastball, it comes down and in. And here's a guy here that lives on sinkers down and in coming up in Vladimir Guerrero. Now, it hit the heel of his glove, but Ziegler didn't panic. He threw a nasty sinker over there to Barton, who gave him a nice stretch. Figgy now, see Dino Evil saying, okay, Big Daddy, go ahead. This is your time of the game. Go ahead and tie it up with one swing.
Even a single brings the Angels to within one. But like you said, go ahead and take a rip.
Well, he will.
He's a very good low ball hitter. We saw him take Ziegler out. I'm not sure if it was last year or this year. The Angels have won 6 of the 10 meetings with Oakland this year. Guerrero did miss a series because of injuries. And that one's lifted foul, and it's a 1-1 count. The Angels have scored a run in the 7th inning, reaching on the air. 2 errors have cost the Athletics in this inning. One by Kennedy to start it, and one by Bobby Abreu. And Abreu was able to reach at first base. He floats that one, barely missing, and that was just 73 miles an hour.
Yep. A little bit of curve and a changeup. Both of those pitches are about the same speed.
A blooper to right. Base hit. Biggins scores. Abreu scores. The Angels within 1.
Maybe it's taken some miscues by Oakland to get the Angels back in there. And the Angels are a team, and they've shown it all year long. If the opponents make a mistake, a championship caliber club makes you pay for it, and we're seeing that right here. Hitting frenzy starting, and 2 outs doesn't matter. They start getting those knocks. And remember, talk about Vladdy, how good he is inside. He's a great low ball hitter, but that one bore in, but he kept his back level plane, a nice little flat plane to the zone. He was able to pick up a couple more ribbies. Vladdy, that's what they pay him to do. He's a cleanup hitter. You can see that the ball's in on the label, okay? Didn't matter. Stayed inside, kept his hands inside the ball, and let his lumber to the top. He's so strong. Some guys hit that ball. It's a little blooper to the second baseman, but Vladdy can power it out there.
So can this guy, Juan Rivera. He is 0 for 3 in the ball game, 0 for 6 in the series. Rivera punches it foul, strike 1. Juan has been so consistent this year, and through his history, he's been a great second half hitter. Numbers after the All-Star break, better than 300 in his career. This year overall, batting .302 coming in. Right now, his average is at an even 300. 20 home runs, 72 RBIs. Louis. Kennedy made the error that allowed Kendrick to reach. Barton made the error that allowed Abreu to reach, even though our replay showed that he did make the tag, or rather the pitcher Breslow did make the tag on Abreu. And there's a high chopper on the infield. Kennedy picks it off, has no chance. It's an infield hit for Juan Rivera, and the inning continues. The tying run is now in scoring position.
And look who's coming up. The man who is carrying the Angels tonight on his back.
Henry Morales with a home run his first time up and a pair of doubles his next 2. He barely missed a home run. It was debated where the umpires had to call time, go underneath, call New York, take a look at the videotape, and rule it was a double. Hit at the top of the wall. Now, Rex, if the replay clearly showed it was out, this game would be tied.
Well, he might make one. He could hit one here that there'll be no replay on. Now, here it is. Okay, the second inning. He drilled that shot off Tomko. First Angels run of the night. And that broke up a 14-inning scoreless drought by the Angels.
Morales sends it foul. Now he's down in the count 0-2, and Ziegler has him at his mercy with his off-speed stuff. Kendry has shown the ability to make in at bat adjustments this year, something he did not do in his early years in the major leagues. He'd do them at the minors and then get called up and struggle a bit. Well, he rings this one in. He hits it high and deep. And look at this. Kendry Morales has made it an unbelievable night. Wow. Camo goes bam bam on the A's.
Jump on his back because Camo is carrying the load. 41,000, well over that, entertained thoroughly by an Angel comeback, taking advantage of miscues by the Oakland defense. Fans love it. Look at that. They're just all over Kendry Morales. Look at these guys look like they're in the Little League, the World Series. And, you know, that's the enthusiasm they got. They're calling for a curtain call for him.
I'm glad you said you go up there. 8-6, the Angels lead.
Fans are wanting him to come out. Vladdy's trying to push him out. He's too humble. Look at Mickey saying, hey, look, here's what you do. Hadn't gotten too many curtain calls in his young career. They're pulling him out there. There you go.
Vladdy's pushing him up. Hey! What a comeback by the Angels. 6 in the 7th. They were down by 5 earlier. His nickname is Bam Bam, for the Flintstones character and the way he had those muscles and just would knock them out. And Kendry Morales with his 29th home run. That's a new club record for switch hitters, erasing Chili Davis's mark from 96. And the 9th Angel to bat is up, and it's Ibar. And that's down the line. Eric racing around first. This could be 3. Yeah, he's going to go for it. A triple for Ibar.
And the fans are digging this one. The rally monkeys jumping on the board, up and down. Fans are all worked up. And it's a very, very impressive inning here by the Angels. And you know, they were going to come out at some point. Now here's the big blow. Morales, that's an off-speed pitch down low, but he slowed his hands down a little bit just to get his hands. It actually slowed his body down, and his hands kept on there, and he felt the electricity of the crowd.
Howie Kendrick muscles one up the middle. Ibar scores to make it 9-6. Well, at the beginning of the inning, when Kennedy made the error, you said, well, maybe a big fly, but then you said, how about one of those frenzy-style innings? We've seen both.
That's right, a bloop and a blast, and, you know, here they go, a couple doinkers. And once they open up the floodgates, they're hard to contain. Bob Geren goes, man, what happened? All of a sudden, they've awoken from their slumber. But I'll tell you what, there's not a more exciting offensive play in baseball, some will say, is a triple. Ibar with his kind of speed, that was exciting. That crowd was going crazy.
Angels have taken a 3-run lead on the Oakland Athletics after they were down by 5, 6-1. So Brett Tomko can't win it after pitching so beautifully for 6 2/3 innings. Jay Marshall now warming up in the Athletics bullpen, and here is Jeff Mathis, who is 0 for 3. He was struck out 3 times. Strike 1. Well, this could be a fantastic night for the Angel fans. If the Angels come from behind and win this game, Texas also lost. The Angels could go up by 5 games, and they also got the 5-starter. Scott Kazmir acquired from Tampa Bay earlier today in an Angel trade.
Okay, Mathis, he wants to try to keep this rally going. He needs a hit for confidence more than anything else. Does a great job of calling pitches for starters and relievers. But now Ibar's giving Morales a hard time about that curtain call.
Very humble guy. Low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. 5 RBI game for Kendry Morales. A pair of home runs, a pair of doubles. Absolutely sensational game. He now has 90 RBIs this year. How about that? Tying with Jason Bay for 4th most in the American League.
And a whole lot cheaper than Mark Teixeira.
Well, Mike Sosa said, had we signed Teixeira, we would have found room for Kendry Morales. He would have been the Angels right fielder, and they would not have signed Bobby Abreu.
You're exactly right.
Bunt try by Jeff.
Okay, you know, you feel bad when you err at any time, but you know, ball players are only human. They're so good, they make it look good, you know, but that happened, and the worst thing that as a fielder, once you make an error, you're going, okay, well, maybe they won't score any runs. Maybe we'll get out of this and they won't talk about me. But the worst has happened.
And at the start of this game, the Angels were not playing fundamentally sound baseball. They made a couple of mistakes on the infield. Eric Ivar looked like he was going to turn a sure double play, which would have ended the inning. Instead, the inning continued, and Oakland scored 5 times after the play. A swing and a miss by Jeff, but a huge inning for the Angels in the 7th. 7 in the 7th, highlighted by number 19, Kendry Morales, second home run of the ball game, and the Angels are now in front 9-6.
Woo! He's got some skills. What kind of pop has he got?
That he loves, called Bam Bam, and he smiles every time you say that around him. At 2 home runs in this ball game. Numbers 28 and 29, 5 RBIs, now 90 for the year. Kevin Jepson coming out of the bullpen. You see his first 13 games this year, rather high ERA, but his last 23. First 13 he was not healthy, had a bad back. The Angels sent him down to the minor leagues. When he got healthy to work on his stuff, he came back, and Mike Butcher taught him the, as Rex likes to call it, the Clyder. It's a cross between a cutter and a slider, and he has really been excellent with it.
Yeah, he's got closer stuff. Hard 97-mile-an-hour fastball, overhand curve, and that nice little power slider, cutter, whatever you want to call it. But he's emerged as Mike Sosa's 8th inning guy. And you know, you showed that ERA in his first 13 games. Okay, it was a welcome to the big leagues.
Ryan Sweeney, who's been so hot, skies one in the air to center field. Torrey Hunter waits and makes the catch for out number 1 in the top of the 8th inning. Hey fans, Angels baseball wants to give you a chance to sit in the Chevy Suite seats located on the field level next to third base, and a chance to win the all-new Chevy Camaro. Text Camaro to 31826 or go to angelsbaseball.com/Camaro for details and official rules. Standard rates apply. Chevy, the official ride of Angels baseball.
They are sweet seats.
Kevin gets a strike across against Mark Ellis, who is 0 for 3 in the game. Angels coming back on the Athletics with 1 in the 6th and 7 in the 7th. Swing and a miss on that slider.
Well, that's a good pitch, and you know, when he got to the big leagues, he had a good power fastball and a curveball, but he found out quickly how big league hitters turn both of those pitches around if they're not located. So Mike Butcher, doing his job well, brought another pitch, and there it is, and it's made a huge difference in this kid. He's working it, and the first time he threw it was a lot like Chuck Finley. Remember last night we had Chuck Finley on. That split finger was his best pitch. He says Coleman taught him that. I think
Joe Coleman.
Joe Coleman taught it to him. He took it, he split it, he threw it in one pitch, and Joe Coleman goes, "Wow, I think we got something." Same reaction Mike Butcher got from Jepson when he taught him that little power slider. He threw it once, and Butcher went, "Whoa, that's what you need." There's another one, and it's high 80s, low 90s, very impressive pitch that's helped this kid a lot. He's commanding it for strikes, and now he has a little bit extra to offer a batter. And that's not easy to decipher between that pitch there and the overhand curve there.
Holy cow, 0-2 now to Derek Barton. Sweeney popped up to center. Mark Ellis struck out on a breaking ball. Barton down in the count, 0-2. He hasn't shown him that overpowering fastball. Now he does, and airs it out at 99 miles an hour.
He's got a power heater, no question. And he keeps throwing strikes like he's doing. He'll stay right in that 8th inning spot and maybe even close at some particular time. He keeps commanding the counts like this.
Mike Scioscia was asked by the reporters, do you feel confident going with such youth out there and rookies like Jepson, Bolger, and Palmer? And he said, well, fellas, in 2002, Frankie Rodriguez and Brendan Donnelly didn't have very much experience, and they pitched pretty well.
And neither did John Lackey.
Palmer, a 30-year-old rookie, 3 shutout innings, perfect last night, and he has really been solid in that long relief role. Jepson has taken over the 8th inning role, and the Angels using Bolger as a balance. Hit pretty well to left field. Juan Rivera still going back, reaches up, makes the catch, and then bangs into the wall. A 1-2-3-8. To the bottom of number 8 we go. It's the Angels 9, the Athletics 6. That baby's saying, hey, I'm not ready to leave yet. The Angels have rallied to take the lead. Let's see Fuentes come on for the 9th.
See, there's the monkey again.
ready for more baseball. Wonderful comeback by the Angels trying to finish it off. They scored a run in the 6th and 7 times in the 7th off the Oakland bullpen.
And it was Sean Figgins who was in the middle of all those hits and runs in the 7th.
Jay Marshall now coming up for some mop-up duty. He is a left-handed slinger. Was selected from AAA Sacramento on August 9th and has pitched 7 times since, making his 2009 debut on August 11th.
He's not overpowering at all finesse, and you can tell good tie though. That's what you want to do, Figgy. A guy like that has a sinker, that's a higher percentage bunt and a ball going down than against this guy who throws hard and straight. But his fastball about 84, 85, maybe a little slider. A couple different breaks to his slider, but Marshall is an artist of deception.
Figgins has been on twice, reaching on the error by his third baseman Adam Kennedy in the 5th, and singling to right field and scoring a run. That's his 98th run he has scored this year, most in the American League. Major League leader is Albert Pujols with 99 of St. Louis. And that one's knocked foul. Marshall with good size and then gets that leverage down. Almost looked like he's got a riser to his arsenal with his fastball. He won 5 games at Sacramento at AAA this year, pitching 50 games. And there's a chopper to Adam. His throw in time. 1 out.
Angels averaging over 40,000 fans per home game. The Oakland A's, they're down at the bottom of the list of 14 American League teams and averaging just 18,000 a game. So whenever they come here, they come up. They rise to the occasion. They know there's some kind of circus going on here with all these folks dressed in red and a rally monkey coming up. And it's just been impressive. And the opponents can't help but notice.
Brian Fuentes coming on to try and save this game and wrap it up in the 9th inning.
Angels coming into this game are 37-25 at home, and on the road they're 38-26. So they have one more win on the road than they do at home.
Bobby takes high. It's 2-0.
They're just a fundamentally sound ball club, and they've got some players that are having some good years this year.
And they added Scott Kazmir tonight, so they have a solid 5-man rotation. And it's solid because not only are they acquiring Kazmir, but Joe Saunders really looked sharp in the last start. And Irvin Santana now has 4 straight quality starts, so maybe they're getting their consistency back, and they will allow maybe the bullpen to rest a bit more. Jared Weaver goes tomorrow, then John Lackey on Sunday. Ben Mazzaro goes for the Athletics tomorrow night, a 6 o'clock game.
And you know what's good is they didn't subtract from any of the Angel players and team.
Base hit by Bobby.
There's nobody on this 25-man roster that got moved. So the chemical mix is great. The clubhouse is going to be fine, but they just added an extra arm, and that's an extra boost to the Angels, and they're pretty excited now. And I know there's some other teams around the league going, wow, you know what? They got another lefty. They're going to be tough. Bob Guerin's going through a ton of Oakland A's relievers here.
Marshall out. To see you in when we come back. power arm, and he has been very strong since the All-Star break, and they brought him on to close down a right-hander in Torrey Hunter, and this will be Hunter's final chance to extend his hit streak to 14 straight games. You see Casilla with a rather high ERA at 5.73, but he has a 3.68 earned run average in 12 outings since the break. And fans, if you're traveling and can't watch your Halos on Fox Sports West or KCOP, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. This is the ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit angelsbaseball.com, where baseball is always on. Well, here is Torrey Hunter. Hunter tonight 0 for 4, 3 groundouts and a strikeout. He had come into this game with a 13-game hit streak.
Hey, Casilla, good, hard, heavy, sinking fastball at 95. Slider and a changeup. He's got some nice pitches, a little bit, some command difficulties at times with his fastball, but he's got a lot to bring.
Casilla drops a slider in there for strike one.
But you know, if you ask Torrey Hunter right now, if he makes an out, if he cares too much about the hitting streak, he'll tell you, not at all. We want wins. He don't care anything about himself. These guys are very unselfish. Like Morales, heck, Vladdy had to push him out for the curtain call here, and you don't get many curtain calls at the Big A. Ask Garrett Anderson in his long career. Tim Salmon, they might have gotten maybe 2, 3 maybe. But Big Daddy had to push Morales out. He was too humble. He didn't want to go out, and he was just doing his job, if you ask Kendrick.
Glad he went out there when he got his 400th home run in his career, and it flashed up on the board, and the crowd roared until he came out. He came out and doffed his cap. Fouled out of play. So Torrey down to the count 1-2. The Angels' Kendry Morales has been the star of the comeback with 4 extra base hits. That ties a club record. He's the 8th Angel to do it. Juan Rivera did it last season, but others to do it: Garrett Anderson, Gary Matthews Jr., Dave Winfield. Freddie Patek did it that one game when he hit 3 home runs. The 5'4" shortstop with 3 home runs in a game and a double. And there's a ground ball. It is into left field, and the hit streak will continue. 14 straight for the big game Hunter.
Yep, they're very competitive in their at-bats. They don't give many away at all. I don't care what the score is either. Are you looking around, checking out where the outfielders are playing? This is a very business-like mentality. 14-game hitting streak. Torrey Hunter, he's been finding them. He did hit 1 home run in this homestand. That one just got under the glove of Adam Kennedy.
A big contributor to the Angels' comeback is stepping up now. Vladimir Guerrero. The Angels were trailing by 3 runs, and there were 2 out, and Vladdy got one on his hands, and he fisted a bloop base hit into right field to score 2 runs to make it 6-5. Juan Rivera reached on an infield hit, and Kendry Morales blasted his 2nd home run of the night, a 3-run shot into the right center field seats.
So we saw Kurt Suzuki step out in front of home plate before Vladdy towed in. Okay, and he gave a few signs, and that's because the Angels are aggressive base running, and he's letting the fielders know whether he's going to throw out, try to attempt it, Abreu at 3rd or get Hunter at 2nd. Fielders got to know where that catcher's going to throw. So in the land of the big leagues, where body language is the premium language spoken, you got to have hand signs. And the Angel fans, they're not satisfied with a 7th spot in the 7th. They want more. Got inside on Vladdy a little bit, but he kept his bat intact.
Well, they've appreciated a great team all year long. The Angels trying to expand their lead in the American League West. Texas lost in Minnesota tonight 3-2. The Angels trying to push the record to 76-51. Move 5 games up on Texas. Time is running out. We're nearing the month of September. But the Angels want as big a lead as possible because it's going to be tough for them in the month of September. They've got to go to Boston, go to New York, go to Texas, and they have to host the Yankees and the Rangers to end the season.
Wow. There's some rare sunflower seed chewing by Mike Scioscia.
Three balls and one strike. Casilla really has gotten wild against Vladdy.
Yeah, he's going to get pitched inside a lot because they don't want him to get his long arms extended. So Vladdy expects that at times. But some hitters, they respond differently on brushback inside pitches. Vladdy, he takes it a little personal, and we've seen him get knocked off the dish and then do some damage with his lumber because he's got a little axe to grind. Doesn't like backing him off.
Ooh. And it came too far inside, and Casilla hits Guerrero, and both benches that look like are going to be worn.
There should be no warning there.
Well, I saw him point towards the dugout of Oakland at first.
No, but those pitches were awfully tight inside, and he just clipped Vladdy. Fortunately for Big Daddy, he didn't get the meat of his shoulder. Just kind of glanced off him there. But Casilla was trying to pitch him inside. A little bit too high. See, hitters don't like it when you come up like that high. Hey, Suzuki sitting out of the middle of the plate. And Vladdy is shaking his head.
He just pointed to first base. At first, I thought Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, had pointed to the dugout and then was going to point to the Angels dugout, but no warning as Abreu now takes third base. Hunter is at second base. Guerrero's at first base, and Juan Rivera's up.
And Vladdy with a big smile over there talking to Alfredo Griffin.
Hey, if they get on, they've got a chance to allow Kendry Morales to set a club record. Right now he has tied the club record with 4 extra base hits. He's waiting on deck. He has 2 doubles and 2 home runs and 5 RBIs.
Well, if Juan can keep the ball off the ground and out of a double play, he got a good chance to see Morales again.
Juan Rivera, first pitch, pops it up, right field. Sweeney's got a good arm. The catch is made. Abreu's coming home. Throw by Sweeney is not in time, and the Angels go up by 4. And Hunter looked like he hurt his leg on the slide as he runs back towards that Angel dugout.
How about the Dino Weeble? He got right in the baseline. Okay, shallow ball, good arm out there and right. Dino, with less than 2 outs, he's going to try to stop Abreu. Talk about a flagrant running through the stop sign. Oh man, watch this now. Sweeney tried to stay in back of it to get a little momentum coming in, and Abreu went right through the stop sign. Dino Weeble standing right there, and he makes it easily. And it looked like he tried to come up. Look at Dino. See him right there? Dino Weeble. He's got his hand up right in his face saying, don't go, don't go.
Seamus took him out.
And you know what? He's not going to take that personally, Dino is.
Here's Morales. They're going to pitch to him. Angels 10, Oakland 6. Again, Morales with a chance to set the club record. 8 Angels have done it, including Kendry. 2 doubles, 2 home runs tonight. He waves at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and Kendry now down in the count, 0-2. He has moved his batting average up to 306. It started the night at 299, but a 4-for-4 game and 5 RBIs. Knocks it towards left field. That's a base hit. In comes Hunter. They'll hold Guerrero, and the Angels go up 11-6. What a night for Kendry Morales. 6 RBIs, 5 for 5.
Morales picked a great time to have his first Major League 5-hit game. He'd never had 4 until that last time up, and he's got 5. Way to go. Bam, bam. Carry the team.
No player in the American League has more RBIs than Kendry Morales. That's 42 now since the All-Star break. 5 hits, 6 RBIs, ties a career high. He did that against the Minnesota Twins with 2 3-home run game, with a 2 3-run home run game. He's some kind of player. 91 RBIs now. The Angels at one time were trailing 6-1. Now they lead 11-6. We may not see Brian Fuentes in the ninth. Brian hasn't had too much work though lately, but it's not a save situation. Jepson with a 1-2-3-8. Looks like a right-hander, Jason Bolger, starting to warm down in the Angels bullpen as Eric Ibar comes up. It is Bolger.
Morales, you know what? Just watching him now, he had one at bat from the right side of the plate. That's the one he almost hit for a homer. The umpires had to go in, call New York, said, "Hey, New York, it was a borderline home run." They gave him 2 bases, or else he'd have 3 homers tonight. And that was from the right side. Plenty of pop. So, you know, sometimes the Angels, at least the last 7 or 8 games, they've been sputtering a little bit, but when they've been hot for the previous 2 months, sometimes they wouldn't score for the first 2 times through the order, and then that 3rd and 4th time they pile it on just like they're doing right now. Other times they score them early and shut down the rest of the way, but you just never know when they're going to start killing that ball.
The Angels have scored 10 runs in the last 3 innings. It's been Kendry Morales' night, 5 for 5 with 6 RBIs, 4 extra base hits. Wow. Lead of the ball game since the 2nd inning, and then he got a base hit to make it a 6 RBI night. And the fans were saying, "We're not worthy." Well, the fans certainly are worthy, but they have enjoyed this as the Angels having a perfect night when you consider the Angels could win. The Rangers already lost, and the Angels solidified their rotation by acquiring Scott Kazmir from Tampa Bay earlier tonight. Congratulations to Tony Regans, the Angels general manager, for working so hard on that. And now the Angels could have a 5-game lead in the West. Kevin Jepson stays in the ball game.
Well, we had outstanding second-year GM Tony Regans in the booth, and Morales hit a big ball. Okay, we said, "Hey, what about your guy Kendry Morales? Were you surprised with his offensive production?" He says, "Well, not really, although we didn't expect him to hit this many home runs in his first full season as a regular player. We knew he was strong. We knew he had a good level swing. But, you know, Morales Who knows where the ceiling will be on him.
Pennington knocks it out of play, and I think Mike Scioscia staying with Kevin Jepsen to give him an opportunity for his first major league save.
Hey, that would just put the icing on the cake after this one.
Because the Angels led by 3 when he protected the lead in the 8th inning. The Angels got 2 more, so he would be the man of record, and there is a line drive base hit to right field by Cliff Pennington.
Okay, there's the slider that was up. Anything that's up, whether it's a slurve, combination curve slider, or a clider, which is a combination cutter slider, or a fastball, can be hit if they're elevated. Back
Adam
up to
Kennedy.
Yeah, back up to the top. Kennedy, 1 for 3 with a walk.
Ball 1.
And a run scored. Now, the Oakland A's, they busted Trevor Bell in that 3rd inning. 5 runs. Kennedy was a part of that.
Rex, do you know who have been the unsung heroes in this game? The bullpen, because as you talked about, Bell only went 2 2/3. Oliver gave up a run in 2 1/3. Jose Arredondo stands to get the win. He threw 2 shutout innings, and Kevin Jepsen with his shutout 8th, and now trying to finish off the 9th.
I agree with you. That's not been one of the Angels' strengths all year, but they have sprinkles of stars in there, young guys with good arms. They just need a chance. And at this time of the season, you know, it's starting to really set his back end of his bullpen. Scioscia is, and this kid has elevated his game.
Swing and a miss. Adam now even with Kevin Jepsen at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And when he elevates that fastball at 97 above the belt, it's tough to catch.
That ball is smacked up the middle past Howie Kendrick. Back-to-back single performance by Oakland here. Racing to 3rd is Cliff Pennington, and now the Athletics open up the 9th inning with a little threat for the Angels. Rajai Davis will now come up. Davis 2 for 4 tonight with a pair of singles and a run scored. He's also grounded out and flied out. Brian Fuentes back up. He will be coming in if the Angels get into a save situation. Good performance in this ball game by Brett Tomko. He went 6 2/3 innings. Excuse me, 5 2/3 innings. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, and looked like he would get the victory because when he left the ball game, he had a 6-1 lead. But the Angels took apart Oakland's bullpen, scoring a run in the 6th, 7 in the 7th, and 2 in the 8th. Slider, strike 1.
Well, the Angels fans were waiting around for the Friday night fireworks show, which is always a spectacular sight here. But for a long time in this game, they were wondering, wow, is that the only fireworks we're going to see? But man, they have not been let down by the Angel offense. Better late than never, man. They pouring a bunch of runs on there in the 7th, 7 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th.
Breaking ball misses, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. You're right, because they've been so clutch this year. They started this series 0 for 9, and since they're 6 for 8 and 10 runs in those 3 innings. Davis trying to keep it going. The Angels looking for a double play. They have their infield set that way. And Davis swings and misses, and he was fooled badly on a backup slider.
Pitch had some nice movement on it.
Oh, man.
Piz, you want to explain the backup slider to him?
Well, it's one that looks like it's going to be inside and then backs up into the strike zone. A lot of times when you throw it to a left-handed batter, it comes in the back door.
It over-rotates and it kind of breaks a little bit the other way.
That has been his money pitch. That and a tremendous upper 90s fastball. Angels trying for their second win on this homestand. They lost 2-0 last night to Trevor Cahill in Oakland in the opening game of this 4-game series. Mike Scioscia had seen his offense rather quiet. They lost 6 of their last 8 games and were averaging under 4 runs per game in that time. But they opened up 11 runs on 14 hits. And there's a base hit back up the middle. This will score Cliff Pennington with the 7th run, and all of a sudden Kevin Jepson's been throwing some pitches over the heart of the plate, and it is an 11-7 ball game.
30 pitches is plenty for him. Scioscia's going to come out and relieve him. You know, he did his job in the 8th. Scioscia wanted to stretch him out and hope that he could possibly get his first save in his career.
Brian Fuentes will go for save number 37 when we come back.
That's not too shabby.
On Brian Fuentes, who will try and take over the American League in saves. Mariano Rivera and Brian are tied with 36. Fuentes has done his in 41 opportunities, has a 401 earned run average.
He's done just fine in his first round American League closing situation with the Halos. Just what Scioscia was looking for in the offseason, somebody to replace K-Rod. You're not going to exactly replace that phenomenal closer, but they did a pretty good job getting Fuentes. Now, he doesn't have an overpowering fastball. He's about 90-91, but he's very deceptive. He's got a tough arm angle from the side. He slings it. Got a nice little slider and a changeup if he needs it.
Fuentes against Jack Cust. He takes the strike 1, and stay with us because we have Angels Live with Bill McDonald and Mark Gubizar and Jose Mota and Rex Hudler and a cast of thousands, and they will be breaking down the Angels acquisition of left-handed pitcher Scott Kazmir from Tampa Bay today for Alex Torres, Matt Sweeney, minor leaguer, pitcher and infielder, and a player to be named later. A slider hit to left field, but right at Juan Rivera, who makes the catch for out number 2.
So there was speculation before the game. Then after the Rays game ended, that's when the trade was announced, and that was about halfway through this ball game.
Mike Scioscia hoping to enjoy his 39th come-from-behind victory, second most in the American League to the New York Yankees. Angels were trailing 6-1 as late as the 6th inning, and they scored a run. It just seemed like the Angels were getting some energy in that inning, but it all busted loose in the 7th. And the Angels scored 7 times on 6 hits. They did get help from 2 Oakland errors, one on Adam Kennedy, one on Derek Barton. It allowed the inning to continue, and the Athletics unfortunately had to pitch to Kendry Morales, who blasted his second home run of the night, a 3-run shot into the right center seats. Popped up. This should do it. Mathis off with the mask and his helmet. Makes the catch. Light up the halo. Save number 37 for Brian Fuentes. But how about that man's night? Bam Bam. Kendry Morales with a 5-hit, 6 RBI.